Oh man. 1 second, hold on. Sorry, I have to hide my screen. I need to change some settings on my microphone. Give me 1 second. God, bro. Okay, sorry. There we go. Mic should be better now. Man, bro, this one really hurts for the Bulls to lose. I don't know if I would say the Bulls played better or like, you know, they were very clearly better tonight over the Spurs. Like, I mean, I thought that the Bulls were very clearly better over the Cavs in that Cavs game. And so like maybe that one hurts more, but this one hurts, man. The Bulls, the fourth quarter right now has been a serious issue the past 3 games in their 3 losses right now. It's very evident that this team very clearly needs a go-to scorer down the stretch, someone that can slow down the game and can create their own shot in those moments. Someone that you can effectively rely on to slow it down, isolate, and find ways to either draw a double team or to effectively go out and score efficiently. And it's just right now the Bulls just don't have that. Obviously no Giddey tonight, but the thing is that even if Giddey was on the floor, I don't know how much he would have the ball down the stretch, because we've seen in many games so far this season that it's not Giddey down the stretch. It's Tre Jones, and as good as Tre Jones is, and he had a hell of a game tonight, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, Tre Jones is just not, he's not an all-star. He just isn't. He's a phenomenal defender, and he's done a hell of a job in the starting lineup, and I love the absolute hell out of Tre Jones, but this is tough. This one's really tough because it's putting a lot of pressure onto him, and Tre Jones is not that, like, he's not a threat from 3-point range, so you're putting the ball in a guy's hands that isn't a threat from 3-point range a lot of the time. And you saw the Bulls were still trying to run their everybody eats offense down the stretch, but it's not going to work in these sort of moments when the game heavily slows down. And you see in crunch time always that the defense is always protecting the paint, always. In crunch time, the defenses collapse the paint consistently. And unfortunately for the Bulls, like, because the everybody eats offense is so reliant on guys getting into the paint and like getting paint touches or getting back cuts or just finding ways to get into the paint, and everyone on the floor has the ability to put the ball on the floor and dribble like that, it requires more creativity and potentially even like just overall better play for the Bulls to get a paint touch when it comes to those moments. And unfortunately, the Bulls just don't have that guy to go ahead and be that sort of threat to the defense. You saw that the Spurs decided to go big down the stretch, and they did it for 2 reasons. One, they wanted to protect the paint more, and if Wembanyama ever got pulled out of the paint, you would have Kornet back there as well. But 2, they decided that if the Bulls are going to go small, or sorry, if the Bulls aren't going to just be like, you know, running double big or whatever, then we're going to be running our 2 bigs out there to take advantage of our size, and look to see if we can punish the Bulls on the other end of the floor, which they did. Like, Kornet got like 3 alley-oops in this game, and 2 were in the fourth quarter. Or sorry, I mean, it might have even been 4. There were so many alley-oops to Kornet this game. And you saw that the size was being a major issue for the Bulls down the stretch. I personally, and I agree with you, Woodage, here, I think that Donovan messed up again tonight. And I'm honestly confused at a couple of situations here by Donovan, but tonight I think is like one of those nights where you have to have Buzelis in there at the end of the game. And to see that Montes Buzelis was not there at the end of the game after the game he had, like, it's just very weird to me. Not saying Buzelis is gonna come in and like fix all the issues, but he offers more size than any of the other guys that you're putting out there. Patrick Williams was thrown out there for most of the fourth quarter. It didn't end up being he wasn't playing well. He had multiple turnovers. Then you threw Isaac Okoro out there, and he has just not been effective on offense, and he picked up two very quick fouls on defense. And then you tried the Jalen Smith Vucevic lineup very quickly when it was like we're almost out of time, but it didn't matter. Like, we saw in one possession where both Smith and Vucevic were running through the same spot because they play the same position. And so I just, this game yet again for the Bulls is one of those games where it's like, man, like, we need someone down the stretch that can isolate, because the defenses seriously lock in. And you saw that the Spurs, they were willing to switch everything in that fourth, right? Even with the double big lineup out there, they were willing to switch everything and basically dare the guys out on the floor to go out and create a shot, right? They're basically saying, all right, you know, as good as a game Kevin Huerter was having, they're basically saying, okay, well, if we're just going to switch it, then it's daring Kevin Huerter to have to isolate and be like, all right, well, go make a shot then. It also, the double big, it really allowed them to switch the screen when it came to Vucevic. And you saw that, like, okay, if let's say Castle is screened by Vucevic and they switch, right, then, that means that there's like Hornets out on somebody on the perimeter now. But what the Spurs did is that if the Bulls try to force it down to the post, they would then swap Wembanyama over, or someone over to Vucevic that's bigger. And so the post up was not effective at all down the stretch of this game, besides maybe for one possession. So you're seeing the limitations of this Bulls team, unfortunately. You're seeing that this everybody eats offense is great in theory, and I agree that, like, I think for most of the game, having the depth to go out there and outrun your opponent and to have a bench that is putting up a drastic amount of points compared to the other compared to the opposing bench, like, that's great. But come end of games, you need a guy, like, you just do. And in the last 3 games, the Bulls have faced guys that just come on out and I just take over. And Giannis, like, it wasn't necessarily a crunch time game in Milwaukee, but Giannis just absolutely had an insane second half against us. And you saw how many problems that was causing. In Cleveland, like, Donovan Mitchell, like, went on like an 8-0 run himself or something like that. At least it was like, I think it was like, maybe it was 5-0 run or something. But, like, you saw him just take over. And he hit many shots down the stretch that got the Cavs either tying the game or the lead. And then tonight, you see that Wembanyama, after he hit those 2 free throws at that current moment, was outscoring the Bulls for the quarter. Okay, Wembanyama had 18 points. The Bulls at the time had 17 points, and until Ayo hit a layup, which didn't matter. So I really applaud this Bulls team for sticking into these games. Like, that Milwaukee game I knew was going to be tough, and, like, they gave a pretty decent fight in that one. The Cleveland game, they were up, and I honestly think they should have won it. This game is also really tough. Like, this is a very tough game, and the Spurs are showing why they're one of the better teams out in the West right now. And they were in it. I mean, they had a 12-point lead at one point. But they have not been able to close these games out. So, it really sucks to see this for the Bulls after, like, arguably 3 pretty good efforts, at least 2 in the last 2 games. Milwaukee was so-so. It really does suck to see this. And yeah, the Bulls definitely could have used Giddey tonight, but I don't know if he fixes the crunch time issues right now. The Bulls just seem to have many issues right now, right, when it comes to crunch time moments where the game definitely slows down and the Bulls can't rely on their tempo and their downhill actions to get points anymore. It relies on someone else to have the basketball and to create on their own. And it continues just to pop up here in these last 3 games. So tough loss tonight. There's no moral victories. I have to keep saying it, but even though I'm always on, like, yeah, there's no moral victories when it comes to these sort of games. I do applaud the Bulls for fighting, because I thought you're gonna get wrecked against Cleveland just due to the circumstances, and they had a large lead at one point. And this is one of those games where, I mean, arguably you should have won this game as well. You had a 12-point lead in the 4th quarter, and it just evaporated. So, yet again, the late game execution and the late game shot making needs to find a way to increase. But I just, for the life of me, Donovan has made some very confusing decisions to end some of these games here. He ended the game with Ayo tonight, which was necessary because he was one of the only guards, like, that you could consistently rely on getting downhill, or one of the only perimeter guys that can go and get downhill and try to score in the interior, and he's also making his perimeter shots, and he hit a big 3. Trey Jones was out there as he should, as was Huerter, and he started tonight. But I just don't understand why Buzelis was not out there. Buzelis actually had, like, a pretty solid game going. I criticized him early in the game, but like Buzelis was actually having a pretty solid game, and like he was getting some points. And I do think that the Bulls could have really used his size and his ability to create off the dribble down the stretch of this one. And I'm just shocked that he wasn't out there. So interesting again by Donovan tonight. I've been critical of him these past 2 games due to just some decisions. And I think even the bench was fantastic again tonight, and you left Io out there, which was necessary. And you know, I was fine with him not leaving Jalen Smith out there, but I don't know, the odd decisions from Donovan, I think, in these past couple games. So we'll be breaking this one down. Talk about some of the positives in this one. I think there's still some positives to take away from this game. We have to talk about some of the negatives, though. The Bulls' defense against Wembanyama was not effective tonight. I was shocked at how much Vooch was guarding him. I didn't like that decision by Donovan. And we will be going over some of the things now the Bulls are going to have to start looking into as some issues that they need to start addressing here soon. Because all of a sudden now we're going to start talking about trends, and I don't want to, but there's some trends recently that have not gone the Bulls' way that we're going to have to start addressing. So unfortunate loss tonight, but there's a man on the other side of the floor, man. This guy is just an absolute difference maker. He is insane. And shout out to him for making the shots. I mean, those were 2 insane threes over Vucevic at the end of that game. I mean, it's just incredible to watch. We have to just tip our cap when it's due. But the Bulls, like, let's be real. The Bulls probably shouldn't have been a 3-point lead at that point. They should have been. The start of that fourth quarter was bad. And the Bulls should have had a bigger lead before Wembanyama tied it and then took the lead. So, hoping for better moving forward from the Bulls in crunch time. Before we get into all this, though, if you hit the like button in the stream, please do. Helps me out a lot. I sincerely do appreciate all the support on the recent streams. If you're new to the channel like Bulls content, please subscribe. I sincerely do appreciate everyone tuning in to the streams and checking out my content this season. It truly does mean a lot. I'm getting spam with notifications. I need to check this. All right, God, bro. I guess it's been a wild night in the NBA. There have been some insanely just game winners. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the Pistons game. Like, they were down and somehow they forced it to OT. Yeah, it's been an absolute just insane night in the NBA, and we got to witness one of it. We got to witness one where Wembanyama is just killing us at the end here, and just killing us all quarter, man. Like, Wembanyama was just isolating against us, and I'm just like, I don't know what the Bulls are looking at here. But I mean, God, he is just different. So let's start off with just some of the numbers here. 9 offensive rebounds given up. It's not terrible by the Bulls, but there was definitely some offensive rebounds in that fourth quarter the Bulls had to get. Early on, there was a missed free throw from Kornet after he missed the second he missed both free throws, and the Bulls didn't get the rebound off that missed free throw. And then he threw it back out to Champagny. He missed. Kornet got the rebound again, and he threw it back out to Wembanyama. He missed from 3-point range, and then Keldon Johnson got the rebound there, and then he missed, and then Kornet got the rebound again, and then he slammed it home. Like, that's 2 points. Like, you have to close out possessions, especially after a missed free throw. Like, the fact that the Spurs got that ball back after the missed free throw, this just can't continue. We're seeing too many moments right now where the offensive rebounding or giving up offensive rebounds for the Bulls is killing them right now. Because their margin of error is so slim. You cannot, when you're a team like this that doesn't have a superstar, like you cannot let the opposing squad get extra possessions, and the Bulls let that happen tonight. That was frustrating to watch to see that. But overall, though, I mean, even against a big Wembanyama, the Bulls did pretty all right in general rebounding. But they had some moments where they definitely could have been better. The passing was still fantastic tonight. I think that the Bulls passing was as per typical, even without Giddey. And I applaud everybody for sticking to the usual game plan here and to keep passing around and looking for the open guy at all moments. And it's unfortunate that down the stretch of a game that some vets couldn't really pull through, but you're seeing how much that the Bulls are still buying into this pass offense. Everyone needs offense, and they're finding open guys, they're finding the cutters, and they're playing well in the fast break. Like the passing continues to be very, very effective. But as much as I appreciate great passing, and I sincerely do, I've always still talked about how much that the Bulls need to find someone to give them some one-on-one offense, and we saw it yet again tonight, where it's like, we need a guy to give the ball to down the stretch of games. And yes, it's not going to be a lot of passing, but it's how you have to break down defenses at the end of games, especially because the Spurs are just switching everything, right? You need someone to create a one-on-one advantage, because the Spurs are going to be collapsing on anyone in the paint. And they're not going to run the typical pick and roll defense that they were running all game. So, like, again, I appreciate great passing, but you're still seeing that even with great passing like the Spurs did tonight, that they needed a guy down the stretch. It was just straight up a one-on-one against Vucevic down the stretch for Wembanyama, right? And he drained both. Like, that's the difference, right? The Spurs have more assists than the Bulls tonight, so you can't tell me that they're not a good passing team. They passed well tonight. And they still decided, nope, down the stretch of a game, I saw that man, and he pulled through, right? So it's just a showing of what the Bulls still need. But again, I applaud the passing. The Bulls have many steals today. Patrick Williams and Trey Jones deserve a ton of credit for their great work in terms of getting steals and forcing turnovers. They were incredible all night. Props to them. Bulls did not turn it over too bad. 13 was, honestly, it's pretty okay, but things, I won't be too nitpicky about that. Bulls shot a great percentage from three-point range, but they suddenly just couldn't make a shot at the rim down the stretch of games, a stretch of this game, and it was really frustrating just to see, just to show the Chicago Bulls. I mean, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shots in the paint that the Bulls weren't able to convert in the paint, and at least 6 within the restricted area. This is an issue, right? Once again, it's a showing that the Bulls need somebody down the stretch of the games, but it's an issue that you're seeing that defenses in fourth quarters, they just collapse the paint and they're just like, okay, well, we're gonna force you to do something else, right? And that's what happens, right? It's frustrating. Guys got to convert in the paint. If you're out there, you got to convert in the paint. If you're not out there to do that, but you got to find ways to convert elsewhere. You got to hit threes, or you got to be the guy to break down the defense. It's out there. And unfortunately, Vucevic, who is supposed to be one of our main interior guys, has struggled the last 2 games. So, yeah, it's been tough. Leaving Vuce on the court during the fourth with the assignment being chased Wembanyama around was a choice, all right. I honestly just could not believe how much Billy Donovan put Vucevic on Wembanyama this game. I genuinely believe that Buzelis should have been the main guy on Wembanyama tonight. I understand that Buzelis has had his issues, but the problem with putting Vuce on Wembanyama is that it basically makes Wembanyama like Kevin Durant instead of like making Wembanyama like more like Shaq in a sense, where it's so hard to explain it, but like basically if you have Vucevic on Wembanyama, like he's allowed to kind of just be Durant, and you can't really junk him up is what we've been kind of seeing. Like what we've been seeing recently from teams is that they're putting a smaller guy on Wembanyama, and they're basically forcing him more out to the perimeter to slow him down. And then once he catches the ball, you're seeing walls, right? You're seeing teams put up walls, and they have a big man, right, who can be in help position if Wembanyama decides to try to drive. The thing is with Wembanyama is that if he just shoots over your defender, right, and it just is what it is, right? But if he's allowed to, which he is allowed to against Vooch, if he's allowed to isolate and have the threat of, oh, I'm gonna blow right by you because you're a slow-footed center that can't keep up with my speed, like that's a bigger issue for the defense. And I just don't understand why Vucevic was on Wembanyama most of this game. I called it last stream that I think that Buzelis should have been on him most of the time. I understand Buzelis has had his issues defensively this season, but it's just interesting just to see what the Bulls decide to do today. But I'm not the coach, so it's so odd. Seeing Mount is relegated to 6 options tonight, Eagles hate to see it. I don't know if you were here earlier, but is this you, Calvin, by the way? I'm assuming this is you because you have the moderator. But again, all of a sudden now everything is just ats and I don't see names anymore. So I'm assuming this is you, but I did say earlier, yeah, I don't know if you were here, but yeah, seeing Mates not play at the end of this game was still mind-boggling to me. They're running Cornet and Wembanyama out there. It's two big guys. Like, I think that you need to put Buzelis in, who I understand had 4 fouls, but you need to put Buzelis in to guard Wembanyama, and you need to put Vucevic on Cornet. But instead, Billy tried every other scenario where he had Patrick Williams out there. He then put Okoro out there. He put Jalen Smith out there, but he didn't put Buzelis back out there. And it's not like Buzelis was having that bad of a game. Like, you know, if this was last night or the last game, then yeah, I understand completely not having Buzelis out there. Buzelis was sucking against the Cavs, but I mean, he had some good moments, especially in that third quarter, where I'm like, he should definitely be out there. I don't understand what the idea was. Jalen Smith and Buzelis being out pretty much the whole run and taking him out and sticking with Vooch killed us. Yeah, I disagreed when Vooch came back in the game. I didn't mind Vucevic finishing the game tonight, but I disagreed when he came back in the game in both halves. Like, Jalen Smith had hit a 3 when the Spurs called a timeout in the second quarter, and then Vucevic is just out there all of a sudden. I'm just like, why? Like, Smith just had an insane quarter where he had 9 points and just hit a 3-point shot, and all of a sudden, he's just on the bench. So I don't get it. At some point, people needs to put his body in front of players to get some rebounds. So I think Patrick has been like, he's honestly like been all right with some of the rebounding, but I agree in this game he had to be better rebounding. Yeah, Billy really pissing me off. I definitely agree. Oh, it's Box. Hey, Box. I really do agree that I think people in this game need to be better rebounding wise, but yeah, I'm pretty pissed overall. Just like the decision to not end the game with Jalen Smith last game against Cleveland for Billy, when Vucevic was sucking all game and Smith had his best game as a Bull. Like he had 18 points and 11 rebounds in 18 minutes, and you decide to not end the game with sticks against Cleveland, which just made no sense. And then tonight you don't have Buzelis out there when you need size, and the size from the Spurs is killing you. It's just mind-boggling. I just don't get it. But it's Billy's decision, right? I'm not there. 100% agreed. Yeah, I appreciate you, Tyler, for checking into the stream. I sincerely appreciate it. Appreciate you having you around. We've already seen Wembanyama getting humbled this season. Double teams and traps work most of the time. Billy ain't having that though. He's gonna allow the ops to get in the zone, and it's shocking, right? I'm honestly just shocked. When Wembanyama started to isolate and like he hit like 2 jumpers, like pretty much like both were at the elbow, I was like, okay, like you need to make a decision here. But because Cornet's on the floor, it's tough, right? Because if Cornet's out there, that's just great job by Mitch Johnson, by the way. Like, I don't know what the Bulls are like. It's Patrick Williams needs to be play better, but like Buzelis I think has to come in. Like, it's just, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Box. I don't know why, like, I never knew this was your at, so I don't know why they did this. I don't know how to change it. I would like to go back because I like seeing the names, but all of a sudden now the names are gone. So it's just how chat works all of a sudden, and I don't like it. So my bad. Wemby had 4 fouls with 4+ minutes left in the third, and Billy bailed him out by taking Jalen out, who was a problem for Wemby. In the fourth, yeah, I agree that he took Jalen Smith out too early. Yeah. Mine had finished the game for sure. Vooch got cooked by Wemby the whole game, and Billy stuck with him, and then he finally put Jalen back in with 2 minutes left, but left Vooch in still. Yeah, so that was Billy's counter to the Cornet and Wembanyama lineup. So again, I thought that Jalen Smith, like, he wasn't like having the best second half, so like I was okay with him not finishing the game, but I would have definitely left him out there longer because Vooch has not really like performed that great either. Smith was not having the best second half. So I would have been like, all right, if he didn't finish the game, if like, you know, he continued to struggle, but I definitely would have left him out there longer. I don't understand these rotations right now from Donovan or these decisions, because the thing that pisses me off the most right now with what Donovan's doing, like right now, what this team has tried to buy into is that it's win by committee, right? Like I think that there's been this humongous like talk throughout Chicago media, but from the players, is that like it's strength in numbers. Like we win by committee. Like we talked about how Josh Giddey told Billy Donovan, in the Magic game, like, don't put me back in because like I these guys are killing it right now. Like just leave the guys out there on the floor. And like Io had an insane fourth quarter against the Magic, right? But for some reason in these last 2 games, okay, I think Donovan has not closed with the best guys out there. And maybe I'm being nitpicky about tonight, but I'm like, Buzelis has to be out there. Like he was, to me, the better forward between all of the forwards tonight. And that was not in that many minutes. Like I think Buzelis, like just from what I was watching, like outplayed Patrick Williams, definitely outplayed Okoro. Like I don't know why he's not in there. It makes no sense to me. Okay, and then in the previous game, you didn't close with Jalen Smith, who was by far the best center all game, right? I don't get it. Like if it's so-called win by committee and strength in numbers, then why aren't we winning with our depth right now? And instead we're going back to like we're trying to trust other guys. Like I genuinely do not understand why Okoro came back into the game. Like it made no sense besides that Patrick Williams picked up multiple fouls. Like that's it. Like I would have rather closed with P. Will instead of Okoro, but then he took out P. Will and put Okoro in. I'm just like, bro, you made an even worse decision to me. Like you should have put in Buzelis, but you didn't. But instead of just leaving P. Will out there, which was the next best decision, you decided to put Okoro in. I don't get it. I'm just lost. Yeah, I'm odd. I'm very odd with how things are right now with Billy. It's been very weird decisions down the stretch. You do things now, I'm just Rain Man. Yeah, you're just not Rain Mans. Which is a counter defensively to literally nothing. There is no excuse, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. But it's not just the fact that, like, I talked about in my stream, like, in last stream. Like, I said that I think the Bulls should put Vucevic on Harrison Barnes, okay? And you should put Buzelis on Wembanyama. Because that's a strategy that we've seen teams do, where they don't put the big man on Wembanyama because it's too much of a mismatch. That instead you put your like one of your bigger forwards on Wembanyama, and then you put your center that is, instead of having him chase Wembanyama all around the court, you put him on a guy that is not as, on ball. Like you put him on the guy that's in the corner that shoots threes, right? Like if you can find that sort of guy, which I understand some teams just don't have that. But to me, I'm like, I would have put Vucevic on Harrison Barnes tonight. And I understand that, yeah, Barnes can hit the 3-point shot, but I would have done that instead. But again, that's just my ideas. I think Vooch, but it makes no sense to me that he was out there guarding Wemby no matter how bad he was cooking Vooch. Yeah, I mean, and then it wasn't just that, like, it was a bad decision in the first place, but then Wemby started cooking, and we still left him out there, and with no double team. Like, it's just, I don't get it. It makes no sense. Buzelis should be in the game not only because of what you said, but because he is literally the guy with the highest ceiling on the team. I mean, there's that aspect as well. Now, like, here's the thing. I agree with you, Box, that, like, if I was running the team, like, I don't really care if Buzelis was struggling, like, that badly. Like, the Cleveland game was terrible. Like, I'm willing to bench him in that one. But in this game, I'm like, I think he was fine. But even if he was having, like, a little bit of a worse of a game, like, he should just be out there just to get those minutes. But then, even if you're trying to win this game, which is what Donovan is trying to do, at least I think he is, then you need to have Buzelis out there. Like, he was your best option, in my opinion. But I don't know. I just don't get it. Especially when you've been automatically giving minutes to P-Will since day one. And, I mean, to his credit, he's put P-Will on the bench now. But, yeah, I don't know. Patrick's played all right this season. Like, I'm going to admit, like, Patrick's played all right this season. I do think that before the Cleveland game, like, that Milwaukee Bucks game wasn't too great. The Cleveland game was pretty solid from Pat. But then the game prior, which was against who was that against? It was against the 76ers. Like, he was a no-show in that one. So yeah. Billy coaches butt off until these last two games. I agree. And even like before these last two games, I could be nitpicky about some things, but I'm just baffled by some of these decisions. But I don't know, man. I'm just honestly, Tyler, by the way, I'm looking at these stats from Vucevic. I did not realize how badly he was shooting from the field. I mean, honestly, yeah. I actually think now that I'm looking at this, like, he probably should have just ran with sticks at the end. It makes no sense for Vucevic to be out there. Like that sorry, my voice cracked. Like that Vucevic blown layup, bro. I was just like, what? Like, you guys, like when Vucevic blew that layup, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you cannot have that blown layup with the way that he's been playing recently. Like, Vucevic has not been good these past 2 games. Like, he just hasn't been. And to have that blown layup was just insane. I was like, what, bro? Like, you've been terrible defensively. You're not getting enough rebounds, and all of a sudden you blow a layup. Like, oh. It only took him 6 seasons to finally bench the flower boy, who I guess I mean, I think it's also front office issue, Fox. Like, I think it's a front office issue as well. It's like, that's our 4th overall pick. And, you know, then there's the money politics that get into play. But, yeah, it took a while. It took him getting injured for half the season last season, right? Which, to Patrick's credit, he's played better off the bench. Do I want him in the starting lineup anytime soon? No, because I don't think we're ever going to see him be a good starter anytime soon. He's been, like, I think Patrick's starting days are over. He's just better off the bench. Billy said, damn, Vooch is getting cooked. I know what to do. Then sent in Jalen to guard Cornette. Yeah, it honestly, that was the, like, when he did that, I was just like, bro, like, out of all decisions, bro, like, he went from taking out Patrick, which was like, you should have just left him in there if you're not going to put in Buzelis. And then he brought in Okoro, which was horrible. And then he went to Jalen Smith, which is just like, really? It's like the other bad decision here. And it's not to take out Vooch. Like, he should have just put in Jalen Smith. But, yeah. The Billy special. I mean, Buzelis needs to be out there to get experience, play out of these slumps. But here's the thing, Woodage. I don't think Buzelis was even playing that badly today. I think Buzelis was pretty good today. Like, he actually had like a pretty good 3rd quarter, and Billy just decided to bench him in the 4th. Like, that's the part that, like, bothers the shit out of me. It's like, it wasn't even Buzelis having a slump today. Like, it wasn't like Buzelis was bad. Like, he was shit against Cleveland. Like, Buzelis was awful against Cleveland. Like, I'm totally fine with that one against Cleveland, because it's just like, that game, like, Buzelis was awful in that Cleveland game. He had so many terrible turnovers. Like, I'm fine with that one. But tonight, like, he was actually playing pretty solid. And the fact that we benched him, I'm just like, why? I'm very lost why we decided to bench Buzelis at the end of this game. Like, he was honestly, like, all right in this one. And I just, that's the part that just bothers the shit out of me. I'm just like, the obvious answer is that you need to bring Buzelis back into this game. Like, I even tweeted it out. And Billy goes with all the other possible options instead. I'm just lost. I'm like, why? Jalen's been the hottest player in the last 2 games. Keep him in until he's not. I mean, I was pissed off more in the 2nd quarter when Vooch came back in, when Jalen Smith hit a 3. Like, Smith hit a 3, Spurs call timeout, Vooch is suddenly back in the game. I'm just like, what? But yeah, I mean, after looking at this year, like, I did not realize Vooch was 4 for 14. I guess for some reason in my mind on the Vucevic post-ups that we saw today, which was a absolute terrible idea, I just threw them out in my head. I'm just like, okay, forget those, because it's just, they're terrible decisions. But I guess those were also shots, huh, Duncan? Yeah. I think, God, bro. If Donovan was calling those Vucevic post-ups against Cornette, against Wembanyama, I don't know what the hell to say at this point. Posting up Nikola Vucevic against those 2 guys is like the dumbest decision ever. I'm aware that Vucevic drew a foul against Wembanyama to start the 3rd quarter in the post, right? Like, I get that happened. I don't care. Like, honestly, it's like, that is not going to be a consistent source of offense for you moving forward. It just wasn't. And not to mention that Vooch missed the 2 free throws. So it's just like, it is just by far one of the ways, just like the most terrible options out there. Do not post up Vooch unless there's a mismatch. Like, it's just terrible. Well, it has that effect on to players, especially young players like Makta. Still, you need to allow him to grow. Actually, when we're clearly not contending team is not the way. I mean, again, if it was up to me, like, again, Buzelis is most likely out there, but like, he was really, really shit in that Cavs game. So I'm like, okay, like, I was fine with Billy benching Buzelis in that Cavs game. Like, he has to just show that, like, Buzelis does have to show he needs to be better. In that Cavs game specifically, there were many aspects in that Cavs game where Buzelis looked awful. But again, in this one, there's like nothing that I mean, besides the 1 turnover that Buzelis had against, like, it was against Sohan. Like, it was in transition and Buzelis tried to push it and he like was loose with the basketball and like so unscripted from him. Like that was like the one blemish, at least in my opinion, from Buzelis in this game. Like there was definitely some defensive moments against Harrison Barnes that weren't great, but like I can live with that. But it's just this was not a bad game from Buzelis, and the fact that you benched him is just mind-boggling to me. Which honestly, if there's any hope for Asenge for playing in these games, it's basically out the door at this point, because if Billy is benching Buzelis when he has 15 points and 5 rebounds in 24 minutes, and he's shooting like 55% from the field, and he isn't allowed to play in the fourth quarter, then there's no way in hell that Asenge is gonna be playing, because very clearly Billy doesn't trust his young guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm lost, honestly, with how Billy has done these last 2 games with his decisions. It's just very, very odd. Bulls were up double figures last 2 games, but lost them close to the end due to Billy's substitutions. I don't think it's fully to Billy's substitutions, but I 100% agree that that was part of it. The Bulls defense was not good in that fourth. Like, that's not just substitution based. Like, that's just everybody. Like it was everybody that was an issue, which yes, Vucevic was also a main issue of that, and Billy decided to bring back Vuce. But I blame the defense on everybody, because yet once again, it's team, right? That's been the mantra. You know, I pick on certain guys, but it's team based at the end of the day. Like Patrick had some, you know, not great moments in the fourth. But it's like that was part of it, but then also yeah, the defense was bad. But then the biggest thing yet again, as I said at the start of this stream, the Bulls are missing a go-to guy. We don't have a go-to guy still, and even if Giddey was out there, he's not the go-to guy. Like we've seen when Giddey is out there in crunch time, that a lot of the time the ball's in Trey Jones' hands. So I just, you know, it's you see where Kobe's missed in a sense, but my argument against, like, I mean, I'm not saying that Kobe wouldn't help in this sort of situation, but I'm just like, I don't know how much I can rely on Kobe being the guy, right? Like, I don't know if I can rely on Kobe to do what Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, and Wemby just did in these past 3 games, right? Like, can we rely on Kobe to effectively isolate when necessary and break down defenses one-on-one and find ways to get a bucket? Like, I don't know. Like, and I know that he has that ability in him, right? But it's just like it hasn't been shown at the level as these guys, right? Like I'm talking superstar. And right now Kobe at this current moment in time is not even all-star. So like that's the thing with Kobe that I'm just looking at. It's just like, bro, he's gonna take a serious leap if we're gonna be deeming him as the go-to guy. Like we're gonna see a pretty massive leap from him in terms of especially pull-up shooting. Is going to drastically increase for him, because his pull-up shooting has not been good. He needs to find ways to increase that, or if he's going to increase his points per game, it has to be his catch and shoot percentage has to drastically increase. So I don't know. He has a lot of work to do here. My issue is I've seen Billy punishing Montes. I don't remember him keeping that same energy with P. Will. Oh, I agree. I definitely don't think he did the same thing with Patrick Williams enough. Like, he definitely had moments where he took out Pat, but it wasn't enough, like, compared to how we've seen from Buzelis and others. So yeah, wanted to sleep 1 hour before the game and instead missed everything but the last 2 minutes. One insane 2 minutes. Looking forward to some breakthroughs. I mean, the breakthroughs, I don't know where the breakthroughs are going to be coming though in these sort of games. Like, props to the Bulls for their, you know, they won 5 straight. Like, I give them a lot of props in those wins, and they won some close games in those games. But like, I still, it's always about, like, can this be sustained? Like, are you gonna be winning these close games with the way that you're playing without a go-to guy? Like, we've seen it these past 3 games where it's not sustainable. So I'm concerned that, because the Bulls, you know, before the I think it was before the Bucks game, the Bulls were 4-0 in crunch time, like in what was considered clutch games. Like, they were 4-0, but now you've seen it where it's like it's gone off the rails suddenly. So I mean, they're still positive in those aspects, but you're just seeing the differences right now with, like, these teams that have the superstars. Like, it's a big difference down the these end of games. Like, Wembanyama almost outscored the Bulls himself this quarter in the fourth. Like, that's a problem. And I get it that Giddey's out. Like, I'm aware Kobe's out, but You know, if the whole argument for the Bulls is that it's their depth, I'm like, okay, well, I need to see this depth be able to show me that they actually have some, like, you know, bucket getters in certain moments. And, you know, props to Herder today. Like, I feel like he kind of stepped up, but even he was having issues down the stretch of this game to try to find ways to get shots. And once again, credit to the Spurs defense, but it's also just a limitation to the Bulls right now. They don't have a guy right now at this current moment. I like how he's coaching Buzelis, and that's actually what he wants, but I don't like that subs in the fourth. I agree with how he coached Buzelis in the Cavs game. I don't agree with how he coached Buzelis in this one at all. I thought in the 76ers game, he also was okay with Buzelis, but I think he pulled him like maybe one too many times in that one. I also think, and this is more nitpicky for me for sure, but I thought Buzelis should have been on Giannis more in that Bucks game. He just didn't get, like, for some reason, Billy didn't trust Buzelis on Giannis for whatever damn reason. I don't know why. So I guess that's what we're looking at. So there's definitely some things for sure. Who's a go-to guy the Bulls can get? I mean, obviously, like right now, nobody, but it's yet again the reason why we keep talking about, like, if you don't have all the extra draft assets in the world, then how are you going to even get them in the first place? You're not getting them through free agency because there's no one on the free agent market, and not to mention your cap space that everyone claims that the Bulls have a ton, but it's really not that much. You're not going to get one in free agency. Your best option is to trade for one, but I don't know how many teams are you going to be able to outbid? Like, yeah, you have all your draft picks, but are you going to tell me that you're willing to give up some of these guys? Because I feel like a lot of Bulls fans say no. And so I'm like, okay, well, if you're not willing to give up some of these guys, then, like, you're not going to outbid teams for some of these go-to guys. Like, some of these superstars going to be available. So it's like, it just frustrates me still where the Bulls are at. And props to Giddey. Like, Giddey might be an all-star this season, but, like, he's not Giannis, he's not Mitchell, he's not Wemby. He just isn't. I give him I give Giddey a hell of a lot of credit for what he's done to start this season. And he might actually be an all-star, but we've seen it even in this run that Giddey has not been the go-to guy down the stretch of games. Like, it's still, we're trying to do everything by committee. He's not been the guy. Like, he's like Trey Jones has, I feel like, had more crunch time possessions than he has. But maybe that's just more feel than what I'm actually seeing. Yeah. Kobe, look, as much as I appreciate what Kobe has done, he's just not at these levels, right? Like, he's not Kate Cunningham, he's not Tyrese Maxey. Like, he's not where these guys are. Like, he's not SGA. So it's gonna have to be either a major leap from Kobe, or the Bulls have to find a way to get one, which I just don't know where that's gonna come from right now. So, like, I'm being dead serious right now for you guys. Like, if the Bulls are gonna trade for a superstar, this guy's gonna be in the trade. Like, I don't know how many people want to give this guy up. Now, I've said it that if Giannis is, like, available or something like that, then, like, yeah, everyone's on the table. But at the same time, like, how much do you even have left over if you trade for one of these guys? Hence why the lack of assets still bothers me right now. Always six-man, any serious team, been our first option isn't better than when Zach was our first option, to be honest. I mean, I think he's a worse scorer than Zach right now. We'll see if that changes, but he does. Always get at the end of the game is a big difference. I mean, yeah, at the end we saw that last season. The only issue, like, I just don't know if we're gonna get March Kobe again. Like March Kobe is what I'm looking for, right? Like, is that sustainable? Like, I'm not sure. To me, that's not sustainable, but I mean, I'm hoping. Like, if Kobe actually goes out and averages 27, then yeah, we have our go-to guy then finally. It's gonna be tough. Not a six-man. I think if Kobe doesn't increase his points per game, then I think there's, like, a legitimate argument for him to be a six-man. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what he does. He could definitely be a very quality starter if he's averaging 20 points per game, and right, his efficiency is higher, right? The problem right now with Kobe is just that, like, I broke it down in my article. It's just like, he wants to shoot 40% from 3-point range, that would greatly help. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get there, because everything that I've looked at with him, it's like the catch and shoot percentage is not like significantly high. Therefore, like he's never going to reach that with how low of a percentage he shoots on his pull-ups, which is like, it's not terrible. It's like league average or just below on his pull-up percentages, which is fine, but he's going to have to increase his catch and shoot percentages drastically, because that's the only way he's going to average it out to be 40%, which that would help him become a better scorer. The problem is, though, is that I don't, like, we've seen many years of him, and it's just like the catch and shoot percentage just doesn't ever increase consistently. So there's that. Yeah, if he finds a way to do that, then like he is very clearly like a bona fide starter in my eyes. In terms of him, if he's gonna like shoot inconsistently with this with his overall percentages, then there's an argument to be a six man. I think that there's definitely an argument to be a six man for him, but like he'd be a very good six man. Like I think people forget, like Io, you know, he's at one point he was averaging like 16, and I mean, what is he averaging now? Like, you know, just because you're a six man does not mean like you're just suddenly never gonna be a scorer or anything. Like, I mean, I was at 14.6, which I don't know if that's updated or not, but like, I mean, he's still coming in 25 minutes and putting up 15 points per game. Like that's very valuable. So yeah, I think that there could be a world where Kobe, like, if he doesn't find a way to increase his efficiency, he might have to like be relegated to that, but like he'll still be getting a lot of minutes. But right now, at the very least in my moment with this Bull squad, he should be starting. But he's got to find a way to increase his efficiency, which is not something that's like that's just straight up just effort. Like he just needs to like put in the work to really increase that efficiency from his 3-point range, unless he's going to somehow drastically increase his interior finishing, which I just, as much as he's done well to increase in that area, I don't think he's gonna get better in that area just due to his lack of physical tools. Like, and granted, here's the thing, I said this about Giddey as well. Like I said the same thing about Giddey, about like he's not gonna increase his interior finishing, and he's proven me wrong, you know, many times so far, you know, from the end of last season into this season. But as much as I given this credit to Giddey, Kobe is just shorter and doesn't have a bigger wingspan. So I don't know how he's gonna get there. So that's my biggest questions for Kobe. But we'll have to wait and see, honestly, for when he does come back, like what sort of Kobe we're getting. Because I'm honestly really concerned with how this Kobe injury is going. Like, I'm aware he was just at the Windy City Bulls and was just recalled back. Like, that's great signs. I'm just like, I'm nervous as hell that he's gonna like feel something again or something like that, and he's gonna be out for a while, but we will see. Coach Ray is 6 man that puts up the numbers Kobe does. I'll get back to me on that next stream. I mean, like Lou Williams was like sort of similar, right? Like he was definitely pretty similar to what Kobe would do. Jamal, in a sense, it's not like Jamal was definitely inefficient. I mean, like Peyton Pritchard, I think is like your best option, right? Like it's. And here's the thing with now, Pritchard, for example, has not had a good start to the season when I picked him to be most improved. But like the idea would be is that like he got, you know, nearly 30 minutes a game, but he was averaging 14 points per game on a hell efficient shooting, right? Now this season he has not shot it well from 3-point range to start, which has been very shocking for me. But like that would be the idea for Kobe, is to be something like this, which like Peyton Pritchard just won 6 man of the year. And yes, he is not averaging 20, right? But that's not the idea for Kobe. Like, Kobe would not be averaging 20 off the bench. I genuinely thought Pritchard was going to come in and just be, obviously, like, he'd be just lighting the world on fire, but hasn't happened so far. But it'd be like something similar to this. That'd be the idea for Kobe White off the bench. But right now, again, for me, he's starter for now. Bulls need a 25 point per game scorer who can attack the basket. I mean, I agree. It's not, at least right now, it's not Giddey. Like, if Giddey's gonna find a way to get a pull-up jump shot, I'm all for it, right? Like, if Giddey finds that way to get the pull-up jump shot, then like he has everything in his bag then to go on an average easily to 25 plus, but I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. That's my biggest thing right now. I could give you a lot of credit for increasing his 3-point percentages. Like his catch and shoot has been great. His finishing at the rim has been great. But it's not like his pull up has to get much better. It's been the biggest weakness so far, and his pick and roll game is still not good right now. So Giddey right now to me is a secondary ball handler at the bare minimum. He's done like he can definitely be like secondary ball handler, and because of his 3-point shooting, he's gonna be able to play a little bit more off ball. But so we gotta see Giddey find the pull up jump shot and the pick and roll for him to like before I deem him like he's our go-to 25 plus point per game scorer or can get 30 at any given night, right? That's the guy we're looking for, because that's what most teams have that are going to be going to the finals. Now again, I know the Pacers are a thing, okay, but you have to understand that Halliburton's one of the most efficient guys in the league, and like if he wanted to average more points per game, he would. Siakam's also been a guy that has made 2 All-NBA teams. So I understand that the Pacers are like, everyone looks at that as like, oh, this is the model for the Bulls, but there's to me a big difference still between what Halliburton does and what Giddey's has to figure out for his ability to score. And we were robbed of a great game 7, but we got to see. I mean, unfortunately, the guy that will win the MVP, averaging over 30 plus points per game, they won. So, speaking of the Pistons, Duran has played up 19 and 12 so far this season. So I was criticizing Duran early in the season, and he completely flipped the switch. Duran has been insane since I criticized him. So he figured it out clearly, and I'm happy for the Pistons, and they're on a roll. So after a rough start to the season, they have just won 7 straight, and guess who we get to face on Wednesday? Oh boy, I'm scared right now for the Bulls, because like I give them a serious big round of applause for that 76ers comeback, but if the Bulls don't come back in that one, the Bulls have lost what? This would be 5 straight, and now we're gonna be facing the Pistons here, and I don't know Giddey's status. Still don't have Kobe. It's rough. Like the Pistons are now rolling. Like it's not the Pistons that we saw opening night. It's the Pistons are rolling, and Cunningham's doing insane work. So Duran looks better than ever before. They're getting Jenkins off the bench, had an insane game tonight. They're finding their groove suddenly with their new team, and Ivy's still out, but that's a scary squad right now. Hey, Cunningham just put up 45 on 40 plus points. I know Cunningham like shot an insane amount of shots in that game. It's very funny. Always sounds like Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, and Jamal Crawford were that guy. That'd be like the idea of Kobe, but if Kobe can increase his percentages, then he's better than those guys, and then he deserves a start. But for now, he's a starter for me, because like there's no one else that's gonna be, maybe Io, but like I do then question the offensive limitations if Io is out there and Kobe's coming off the bench. So Kobe is a better defender than Crawford, which gives him a chance to start, but he's a second option at best. In my opinion, I don't know if Kobe's only gonna average 20, like, yeah, he'd be second option at best. I think in a perfect world, he's third option. And in some cases, he's, ideally he'd be like if you're building a team, like Kobe's coming off the bench, if you can pick your main guys and everything like that. But Kobe's value, I will say, has gone up when it comes to like this whole idea of depth, right? Like having Kobe as like a guy that can, you can trust to put the ball on the floor and try to, make the right play, but he can, break down a guy off the dribble, and he has a 3-point volume, right? Like that definitely becomes a lot more valuable in this sort of everybody eats sort of offense. Which I'm still not loving it, but like I see how effective it's been with this Bulls team. And so I love the passing and the unselfishness of this Bulls team. But like I've said though, it's just like even the Milwaukee Bucks, who I think play like the Bulls right now. If you watch how the Bucks play, like they play a lot of their bench guys. You know, their starters aren't getting a crap ton of minutes, and that might be different tonight. But like the way that the Bucks play, which I know they just almost lost to the Mavericks here, but like, I mean, Giannis has increased his minutes for sure. But like, look, like these guys aren't playing a lot of minutes. Like they're playing a bunch of guys off the bench. They're running fast, but it's still everything's around Giannis, right? Everything is still around Giannis. Even though that they're playing more team basketball, it's still Giannis is everything, right? He is the core to everything. He is the superstar. He can get you the bucket when things are going bad. Like, he is everything still. And so I'm all for the way the Bulls are playing, but they gotta have that guy. And that's just where I'm like, I don't know where it's gonna come from yet still. So that's gonna just be what I'm looking to moving forward. Where's the guy, right? Vucevic is killing me, bro. What this is the fourth quarter from him, bro? Oh my god. You know, we talked about Vuce having a downfall. You know, we kind of questioned it at the start of, like, you know, after preseason, was just like, is Vuce gonna fall off a cliff? And he started the season so damn hot that we're like, oh, I guess it's just not a thing. Oh boy. Hope he figures it out, because this has been rough past couple of games here. And the thing that bothers me the most about it is just that, like, I don't want to hear when it comes to Vucevic that it's like, oh, he was facing Jarrett Allen and Mobley, he was facing Wembanyama and Cornette. Like, I don't really care. Like, this is supposed to be our vet that is able to score consistently no matter who we're facing. Okay, like, if there's one guy that I'm looking to that's like, no, you still are gonna be your double machine, right? And you're gonna consistently go out there and give us 16 a night. Like, it's him. And these past two games, like, I get that Mobley and Allen are great defenders, and I get that Wembanyama's a thing, but like, especially with Giddey out tonight, like, it's gotta be just better from Vucevic, unfortunately. I was also providing it on multiple categories. Can defend 1 through 3. Can be secondary ball handler. Can be a wing when needed. I mean, I've already made my claim about how much I love Io, and I think he should be sticking around. I won't lie, Donovan has been right about him just coming off the bench for the entire season when I wanted to start him over Okoro. Yeah, Io's been tremendous. Not just on his other aspects of his game, but like scoring wise, his efficiency has just been through the roof, and he's already a very efficient player. Yeah, I appreciate him a lot. I think there's a big case for Io to start, but on this team, he's coming off the bench, which is totally fine. Lou is one of the better 6-man players in the last 10 years. That's not nowhere for a 6-man. So I agree that it's not like the standard, but we've seen guys like how Peyton Pritchard won it last season, where it's like they're putting up like a pretty decent chunk of points off the bench. So like we still need guys, like, especially now with how the league is kind of moving. Like, you're gonna need guys off the bench to come in and give you points. Is it, you know, is that maybe what Kobe's gonna have to eventually end up being? Like, we will see. But for now, again, I'm all for him just for starting and for trying to prove that he is better than what we saw for last season, which is like, again, like, if he's gonna go and be March Kobe, that's, you know, that's great. We love that Kobe. If he's gonna be, you know, December Kobe, which we saw last season, which I know he had some injuries, that's just not enough. Like, that's 18 point per game Kobe, right? On bad efficiency. So he has, like, I think for people to understand where I'm looking at when it comes to as like the main guy, right? You have to, no matter what, you have to average at least 25 for me. And if you're like, ideally you should be closer, like, you should be higher. In most senses, you should be higher. Your efficiency has to be through the roof. Like, you have to be one of the better efficient guys, like, out there. Guys, for example, like what we're seeing right now from Austin Reeves. Okay, like, I think this is like something that I'm always like looking at when I'm like looking at Kobe, for example. Like, there's this guy, right, who I understand that like these numbers are like ridiculous right now. You know, he had like a 50-point game and everything like that, but this guy averaged 20 last season, and he did all these other things, right? And you know, percentages were like pretty good, but like now you're seeing this next evolution to him this season, to where he's like, oh hey, I'm a pretty damn good scorer now as well. Like I'm putting up like 30 is not going to last the entire season, but he should be like mid 20s probably for this season, assuming that LeBron's not going to come in and like ruin him. But it's been him and Luka, right? Like, yeah, 30 is not going to last, but he's been consistently getting to like 24, 25 at bare minimum. So like it's these sort of moments with me where I'm like, for Kobe, like you're going to have to show me a serious leap here before I'm going to be like, okay, you're one of the bona fide options, right? I'm not talking about just this specific team. I'm talking about moving forward, right? When the team should be, in theory, winning. Okay. I don't know where Giddey's gonna land, really. Like, hey, Giddey is, you know, he's averaging like 22 to start the season. That's great. I don't know if that's gonna continue, especially when Kobe does get back. But like, if Giddey can like get into that area, it's like it gives you so many more options, and it puts you in such a better position. Is that if Giddey's like your second scorer and also averaging like 23 plus, like that's huge, right? I unfortunately don't think Giddey will be that like moving forward, but if he can, like that, it's just better than if Kobe's giving you just 20, right? But if Giddey's not that, right, I do think that he's proven me enough that like, okay, he does enough things where rebounding, you know, passing wise and everything like that, but his 3-point shooting has been very effective, and he's cutting well this season. Like he's shown me enough, even, and then with the basketball in his hands and transition and everything like that, like, okay, you can then be like you're not gonna be the main ball handler in a sense, but you'll be a secondary ball handler, and ideally he's averaging at least 18, right? Again, we're talking about winning, right? Now, again, if any of these guys are able to break through, okay, and all of a sudden we're talking about them averaging 25 plus consistently, then the math changes, right? And these are the guys you're gonna be rolling with. Right? I say this because it's, to me, at least a lot when it comes to Giddey, right? Like I know, like for example, Giddey's been the MVP, you know, ladders and everything to start the season, and deservingly so. The Bulls were up to a 5-0 start. A lot of it was because of him. He absolutely deserves it. But when it comes to him, I've been saying how much that there is still room to grow, and that's not to knock him, right? I'm not trying to knock him when I'm saying this. Like he has proven me wrong in so many aspects when it comes to his game. Like the reason why I was so concerned early on was because I'm like, if he's gonna be the main ball handler, like I'm seeing so many levels that he has to go through before he's able to be like the main ball handler, in my opinion, right? And he's gone through a lot of levels right now, but he's still not where these guys are, where I'm looking around and I'm just like, oh my god, like there's that guy's averaging 30, that guy's averaging 30, oh that guy's averaging 26, that guy's averaging 30. Like that's the thing. It's like these are guys up here, and again, I'm aware that the Halliburton, you know, exception exists here, but like I've been adamant how much on that Halliburton can average more if he wanted to. He just doesn't decide to shoot it more. But right now, when it comes to Giddey, like he's proven me wrong in a lot of aspects, and he's absolutely proven to me that he can be an effective starter moving forward. But it's a long ways to go still in terms of being like, all right, you're solidified as like the superstar of this team moving. It's tough. Like for example, I never thought Tyrese Maxey would be where he's at, but he's just blowing the doors off of expectations. Like I doubted the hell out of Tyrese Maxey. I did not think he would be this good. I had many questions about him in terms of being a bona fide effective point guard moving forward. Like I did not think he would be this good of a scorer. But not only is Tyrese Maxey averaging like 33 points per game, like he's also averaging like 9 assists. Like you're seeing the levels when it comes to these sort of things, right? It's not just like, oh, this is just simple stuff. When Luka's not on this list here, by the way, because he doesn't have enough games, but like how many guys are up here that, at least just to start the season, I'm like, I mean, we're looking at so many guys that are, well, end it here at Julius Randle, where it's like, 25 or above. Like Luka's not on this list because of lack of games played, but a lot. Like it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like Giddey's here, but you know there's a level to where I'm like, there's many of these guys that I've highlighted here. Like yeah, not Levine, not Avdia, and not Markkanen, but a lot of these guys here, I'm like, these are first options, right? These are the ones that you run your offense through, or I guess maybe not Jaylen Brown, but for this season, Jaylen Brown is. But you know, this is another guy, right? Like these are the guys that you have to. I'm looking for you to be in that echelon. And for some people, right, they think that Giddey's there. I don't think he's there. I think there's still a long ways to go for him. But he's proven me wrong in a lot of aspects, so I give him a lot of credit. Let's see. Would be nice if Matas can have fadeaway like Dirk. Like, I think the idea of Matas having a fadeaway is nice. Of like, okay, like you put it like he'll be like Durant in a sense in the post. Like Durant has that same fadeaway. But my thing is though is that like I feel like for Buzelis that needs to happen later. If that makes any sense, Wooduge. Like a fadeaway for Buzelis, I think just needs to happen later in his career. Right now, the biggest thing for him is that he needs to find a way to finish consistently at the rim. And you know, knock down his 3-point shots off the dribble and knock down his 3-point shots in general, right? And work on his defense. I think that when it comes to Buzelis, like I don't see the Dirk comparison at all, but I can more so see like what you're saying with how like Durant and Tatum can do that sort of fadeaway in any given moment. Like I agree that would be ideal for him to have moving forward. I don't know if he's gonna ever get there, right? Like that's a lot to ask from him, but it would definitely be ideal if he can have some sort of fadeaway. If Gobe isn't changed by the ankle injury, I think y'all will see how well Giddey and Gobe played together. They showed it after Zach left. No, I completely agree. I think like I want to invest into that what we saw, Tyler, at the end of last season. I want to invest into it, and I definitely should have bought my Giddey stock, right? But my only thing is just that I'm looking at for Kobe, that month of March was absolutely insane by him. Like I give him a hell of a lot of credit. Like that month of March was incredible. And so was April as well. Like April was pretty solid from him, but it wasn't like more points were ideal, but you know, it is what it is. But like this month of March here was incredible by him. It's 27 points per game. Like this is what we're talking about, right? Like we need to see these sort of percentages consistently. And yeah, maybe this is going to show up. I hope it does, okay? But my biggest fear when it comes to this happening again is like, I think that Kobe could do this for a month, but then I'm looking at all these other months, right? Like, and so yeah, we haven't seen enough when it comes to, you know, Zach's gone, so we gotta see more. We gotta see more when it comes to Kobe without Levine, sure. Thing is though, is I'm fearful of the calf. I hope it, like, he's gonna be on a minute restriction early to start, so it's gonna be hard to judge him then. But yeah, it's gonna have to be like, this is gonna have to be like consistent. Like it's gonna have to be points. Like it's not gonna be assists because the entire team's doing that and Giddey's doing that, right? It's gonna have to just be this. It's gonna have to be shooting and scoring. Like, this is where it's have to be. I don't know. I just don't know if he's gonna be able to consistently average 27. That's gonna be my biggest thing to watch. But prove me wrong. I've been applauding everyone that's been proving me wrong. I love Ayo. He is a must-keep kind of guy to me unless you can get real value for him. And honestly, there's a world where you do. And if you do, great. You trade him. But I've been adamant that we should probably look to extend Ayo because if Kobe decides to leave, then at least you still have Ayo around. So we'll see. Facing Mobley and Allen, Wemmy, and now Duran is tough. And obviously Kay Cunningham. Like, it's definitely tough. But hey, that's why, like, when we talk about this sort of stuff, it's like, these are the great teams. Like, I mean, I was honestly concerned about the Pistons, but like they figured it out. But like you see, like, you know, when we talk about these things, it's like that's, you know, that's why I think they're great, right? It's because they have these guys, right? They have these guys. Like Mobley's Defensive Player of the Year, and you know he's increased his scoring ability consistently. Wemby is not from this earth, and you know Kay Cunningham and Duran are right now like. You know, they're playing like two of the best players in the league right now. Like, Durant's playing like one of the best centers in the league, or not, not Jokic and Bede or I guess if you count Şengün, which I don't know if you do right now. Like Duran's up there. Like Duran's been playing like insanely well, and Cunningham has been like averaging like 30 plus and 10 assists every day. So it's tough, man. It's definitely tough. Do you think the season is gonna be Duran's breakout season? Ivy had a new injury. Yeah. Ivy was not ready to start the season. It's been very tough for Ivy, unfortunately, but he is not out for the year. That Pistons squad, bro, like they definitely, I could see early on they were missing like Schroeder, for example, who helped them in the playoffs. But they're gonna need Ivy for sure. Like they're gonna need Ivy to take some pressure off of Cade. We'll see how he's gonna come back, and like he's, he'll be interesting to look at. I just don't know what we're gonna see from him. Like he was playing well before he got injured, and then injury happens and he's been out for a long time now. But it'll definitely help that specific squad because they don't have Schroeder like they did at the end of last season, and they don't have Malik Beasley, so they're gonna need the points. I agree. I'll get to take out the same spots in offense. I was a much better fit with Trey off the bench. It'll be interesting to see what does happen because I do think the Bulls are gonna have to start. They're gonna have to try the Giddey, Kobe, Trey lineup. It might just be matchup based, but I think they have to try it. But I do think that as good as Trey Jones has been, and he's been fantastic to start the season in the starting lineup, he should be off the bench. I do think that should be his role. And the biggest reason why is just because he doesn't have a 3-point shot. Like his 3-point shooting was he was shooting 60%, I think, coming into tonight from 3 or something like that, or maybe it was before the last game. But he's coming back down to earth in terms of his 3-point shooting, which is expected from a 31% 3-point shooter in his career. But yeah, he was he was hitting threes at an insane rate to start the season, which is like, hey, good for him. It wasn't going to continue. Yeah, because of his lack of size and his lack of 3-point shooting, as good as he is, defensively he's insane. Finishing at the rim for his size, he's incredible, and he doesn't turn it over very often. Like Trey Jones has been incredible. He should be coming off the bench. Like him as a bench guy, like he definitely should be. He should be. Even with the loss, I'm blaming Billy for. We just lost in the last 2 minutes of the game to Spurs with no Giddey or Kobe. It's a good way to look at it. I just my only counter to that is just like it's strength in numbers, right? And so like, the Spurs aren't 100% either, and yeah, like they're not missing some, like they're not missing Wembanyama, for example, but they didn't have Dylan Harper tonight. But yeah, it's a good way to look at it. It's just that like the argument about the Bulls' depth is supposed to be like they're winning, like that's supposed to be their calling card, and I mean, props to the Bulls' depth. Like they did a good job today. Just it's not enough, right? So that's like my only thing about it. It's just like your system is so built heavily on everybody, right? It's not built on Giddey only or Kobe only, right? Your system is built on everyone, and so yeah, we can say like, yeah, Giddey was out and Kobe was out, which is, yeah, that's two big significant pieces. But at the same time, I'm also aware that the system is built on everybody getting involved, and unfortunately that was not enough today. Which, yeah, you're missing two key pieces to it, but I'm still looking around as just like, I can't rely on just those two guys. Like everyone else has to get involved, and someone like Vucevic today not having a good game is just unacceptable. I don't care if Giddey's out. It just is unacceptable to see Vucevic have this level of a game today. Okoro struggling like this is just like, Okoro's been really good like the past like 4 or 5 games, but this was not good today. The standard when it comes to this sort of level of team, right? The standard's high for everybody, right? Like if we lose this game, it's not on just like, oh, we're missing guys. It's like, no, everybody here that played tonight, you're to blame. Okay, you guys weren't enough tonight, and we still, even with those guys being out, like we still had an insane game off the bench, and we have a bunch of playable guys, right? And it wasn't enough tonight, right? Because they have an alien not from this earth. But the goal is that the depth is supposed to be able to beat those sort of guys, right? So yeah, I definitely agree though. Like, yeah, no Kobe, no Giddey hurts a lot. But I'm also just saying that I think that it is right to criticize the guys tonight, even with this loss, even though it's, they fought hard, and round of applause to them for fighting hard. They could still play better to me. And I don't want to just, I think part of just saying, like, oh, Giddey and Kobe are out, it kind of gives them, like the other guys that played today, a little bit of a pass. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I think that if we're going to do this whole, strength in numbers mantra, then people are responsible for no matter who's out there on the floor. It doesn't matter if you have 5 guys missing. Like, it's strength in numbers. If you did not go out and win a very winnable game for you guys, like, it's still on just the guys that were out there today. So, yeah. We'll just play in the NBA. He's gonna face some type of content. Yeah. How's Rui doing? Austin Reeves has been insane this year. Rui has been fantastic. Rui has been legitimately insane. Rui's efficiency on his jump shot has significantly increased. Like, the Lakers actually have like a pretty solid squad, with all things considered, because of Reeves has been insane. Luka is in like, he's just off to an insane start. And Rui's been better. And like, I understand Marcus Smart has his flaws, but like he's like a great guy to have next to Doncic. And I criticize the absolute living hell out of Aiden, because I do think that Aiden has been very disappointing for his career. And he's one of those guys that's like double machine, and I just don't think he's really that effective. But he's been better. I give him credit for what he's done. Aiden has been better so far. I don't know if that's going to last the entire season, unfortunately, because he's been a very inconsistent player. Even if he's like, there's like, he can get a double in his sleep if he wanted to, but it's about effort, the defense, and fighting for the offensive rebounds and stuff like that. Like, that's going to determine if he's having a good game or not. And he's been good to start the year. He didn't have a good like first 2 games of the season, but he's been better. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Honestly, getting a 23 average law, but that's not how the Bulls are built. We're having 6+ guys in double digits a lot because of him. So like, this is like the argument, right? It's like, oh well, if you have like 6 guys in double figures, then it's like, oh, it's great. Here's my only issue with that. The Rockets did the exact same thing last season, where they had like 6 guys in double figures, and they lost in the first round. They decided that even with the whole like, we're gonna win with our depth and everything like that, they still went and got Durant, right? So again, props to Giddey, right? I agree. I don't think he'll ever average 23, and like, he might average 20. I think he's gonna probably come back down to 18 for the season, and that's totally fine. But like, my point is that like, Giddey is such a great, he'll spread the ball around, and that's great and everything like that, but you still need a guy. Like, you still need that 30, like that guy that can go and get 30 at any given night. That has to be a constant, even in an everybody eats offense. Like, even if you're gonna have all this depth to your roster, I still think you need a guy that can just go get 30 at any given moment. So that's gonna have to be something that the Bulls are still looking for. Like, I think that's just the reality of it. And like I said, it's just like what Giannis and co are doing over there. It's like, Giannis is the core of everything, but like, everyone else is also chipping in, and they're also doing pretty well so far for the Bucks. So it's like, that's just where I'm always looking at when it comes to how you're gonna build a team. Like, don't get me wrong, Giddey's a big reason why all these other players are flourishing right now. But it's you need to have everyone else out there. So if you're wondering, I mean, like, the Bucks also have like the same thing. Like, it's you still, like, you can have a 30-point per game scorer, but you can also have all their guys chipping in as well. Like, the Thunder also, like, they do similar shit. Like, it's Shea and then Co. Like you can even get rid of this guy, and the Bucks still have 7 guys in double figures. Like, it's how these teams are always built. Where's the Thunder? Honestly, interested in seeing this. I'm curious. Let's see how many they have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, yeah, AJ Mitchell has been insane to start the season. He's been incredible. Yeah, these teams are just, that have the depth like the Thunder do, and what the Bucks have done to start the season. Like, it's very impressive to see from these guys. Let's see the 76ers. I don't know, honestly. I don't think the 76ers will. No, they don't. They have 5 though. One, two, three, four, five. Which I mean, like Quentin Grimes, for example, has been great to start the year. Oubre's been phenomenal as well. Like, yeah, it just shows to me like still the Bulls are lacking in areas, but it's okay. Like I just, again, I'm just trying to figure out what's the next plan here. If it's just to draft guys, I'm like, with our own pick only, I question things, but you know, those are months with Zach, but I understand the fear. Also concerned about the calf as well, but I think they took it really slow bringing it back for a good reason. I think that they've done well with it, and Kobe's camp has done well with the calf injury, but Kobe, I'm always just concerned with someone coming in with a whole calf thing and like in the middle of the season. Like I really was hoping that Kobe was going to play in preseason at least one game so he can start the season, but I understand it's gonna be a slow start for Kobe, so I'm gonna give him some grace when he comes back in and, you know, gets ramped up to game condition again. Like I understand it's gonna take some time, but yeah, I'm always scared, man. Like the calf injuries really scare me at this point, that I'm like really concerned with how he's gonna look. Duncan, when DT eventually gets let go, do you think any team will pick him up? Be honest, no, I don't. I think with the amount of players that we're seeing not be playing in the NBA right now, that I think deserve jobs, like DT's not getting picked up, unfortunately. How was Zach, the center, shooting from three last year / pre-injury? Wait, what? The center? I'm sorry. I'm probably reading this at such a late moment, because I see that you guys are talking about this thing. Who are we talking about here, Tyler? I'm sorry. I'm late on chat. I know. This is my bring back Beasley once he gets cleared. I mean, they might. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't, though. Yeah. Am I blinking? Zach, the center. Are we talking about our Zach Collins? Honestly, I don't think did Zach Collins shoot well with us? I don't remember, honestly. Last season. No, he didn't shoot the three ball well, but that's okay. He shot overall pretty well. Like 54% is a significant increase. Zach Collins, I think. Oh, okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah. Shooting from three, he didn't shoot. Like Zach Collins has never been consistent from 3-point range. He shot 30% with the Bulls last season. He shot 30% with the Spurs last season. So, 30% basically for the season. 30.2. But this went up significantly, and I think that's huge. Centers, to me, like, one of the biggest gripes I have with Vooch is that, like, if you're a center, like, you're first and foremost, your duty is to score at the rim. Obviously Vooch is supposed to hit the three as well, but like your duty is to score at the rim, and so this is much better to see because Collins was scoring a lot at the rim, which Montes is the highest potential as a 25+ point per game guy, but he needs to play and develop as much as he can reach to that point. I agree. I guess it's just gonna have to, we'll just see how that relationship with Montes and Billy will kind of work out, but I am starting to get worried that he is starting to fall into like he's not getting enough minutes to develop category suddenly because the Bulls are trying to win. And like if he's struggling in a sense, like Billy's just gonna bench him. So I hope that's not gonna happen moving forward. But like he definitely, I agree, he needs to get his time. Like I also think Sengun should get his time, but like he's not gonna get his time. So you know, it's not me. Yeah, it's not Giddey / Kobe only. The depth played pretty for the most part, but our main two, our stars aren't there. We are playing against one of the best teams in the league right now. No, I completely agree. Yeah. But I think my main point is just that, like, if the team, which again, give them credit, they just can't be like, oh, well, we're missing our two guys. Like, the guys that played tonight could have been better, for sure. Yeah. I don't like Aiden. I mean, I don't blame you. He's been inconsistent and outing in his league, or in his career, so yeah. I'm not saying this team is ready or built for a championship. I think this year they could definitely hit playoffs, though. I think, honestly, with the start that they had, if they don't make playoffs, it's an absolute travesty. You won the first 5 games of the season. If you don't make the playoffs, like, that is an absolute travesty. In this Eastern Conference, like, if this was out West, it's a different story. But in the East, like, you should be making the playoffs this season. I'd be honestly, like, if they didn't make the playoffs this season, like, we gotta have some serious conversations, y'all. Like, you started 5-0. Like, unless you're gonna go on like a 12-game losing streak here, which if you do, then we gotta have some conversations. But like, these guys gotta make the playoffs now with the way that they started. To me, there's no excuse. If they don't make the playoffs, bro, and like they get in the play-in tournament and they lose, like, oh boy. We're gonna have a lot of conversations about Billy. We're gonna have a lot of conversations about the players. Like, yeah. Kobe will end up taking the most shots of anybody right now. I believe Giddey's the leader. They just need a true scoring guard. Well, I don't know if he needs to be a guard, but they need a true scorer on the perimeter or a center like a Jokic or Embiid, right? That's what it's gonna have to be. And so maybe Buzelis becomes that scorer, but who knows? We'll have to see. Taking into consideration that during March and April, when we more or less already know who the top 10 teams are in each conference are, most teams are start slowing down, giving their bench players more run. So here's the thing with this. So I was on the like March stats aren't real. Okay, like I was on that, and it's true that in a sense of a couple things. One, the Bulls, they only faced like 4 opponents that were over 500 to end the season, and they faced the Pacers once without Halliburton. They faced the Nuggets without Jokic, but they beat the Lakers twice when they were fully healthy. So give them props there. It is also then true that when it comes to the end of season, that the teams that are like kind of solidified for the playoffs, like they definitely do not play as hard. Like they don't like scout like they usually do at the beginning of seasons. And so like that's the reason why I was skeptical with the Giddey and Kobe runs. It's just like I don't know how much to put, how much stock to put in. Giddey obviously has shed like, no, what I did at the end of last season was legit. Like that's definitely something that like he completely proved me wrong on that. And so, I'm gonna hope Kobe's gonna come and do the same thing. But I think that it's like, as much as I was questioning both of those guys' runs, you have to understand where I'm also coming from, that these guys have never done that in their career before, right? Like the way that Giddey was playing at the end of last season, he has never done that at that level in his career before. He just has never done that. Like in terms of shooting the three that effectively and like scoring that much consistently every game, right? Like he just has never done that consistently. Like we've seen flashes in games here and there, but like in his career, he has never done that. Kobe has been, again, we've never seen him average 27 points per game in a month. At least, let's correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he did beforehand. So like, you have to understand why I'm like sort of a skeptic when it comes to those numbers. I'm just like, one, I don't know how much the defenses are actually trying, because it's just kind of at the end of the season, and like where we see a lot of teams are just not giving full 100% effort. But two, these players have never done it before, right? So that's the reason why I was skeptical, and very clearly I shouldn't have been with Giddey. Like Giddey has shown me like, no, that was legit at the end of last season, and yeah, give him all the credit in the world. Kobe, like I think it's fair for me to be like this, that I think Kobe needs to come back and show for this season that what was happening at the end of last season was also legit, right? That needs to happen. He can't go back to just averaging like 18 on below 45% shooting. It's just we're back to the conversations that we had earlier of just like, is he six man? So we have to see it. Like it unfortunately, when it comes to just like the end of season stuff, it's like it is generally so hard to gauge of like, okay, what is like something that we can take in and move forward with, and what is stuff that I'm just like, I don't know. Like we have to just kind of throw it out. And so I want to believe in these guys, but it's just like when these sort of stats have never been done from these players before, it's like it's hard for me to like trust it. But hey, that's why we have the start of the season for, right? Like, and to see Giddey start the season consistently getting a 20 plus, right? And forget last game with the injury, but like he's consistently gotten there. Like that's what I've been asking for, and he's done that so far, or at least in most games, right? So he's done it. He showed it so far, and I give him a lot of props for it. I asked because Noah hasn't logged. You're talking about DT here. I know you're talking about DT here, Fox. I asked because Noah hasn't logged a single minute while DT is still seeing the court, even if it's only for a few minutes at a time. I don't really see the reasoning behind this. I agree with you, but again, it's the Bulls trying to win, right? It's genuinely the reason why they're playing DT over Noah is just because the Bulls are trying to win, and they trust Dalen Terry to be better defensively than Noah Senge, or I guess shoot the three ball better than Noah Senge right now. Again, if this was up to me, I would not be doing that. I would not be playing DT at this current moment in time, or Phillips over Senge, but here we are. So it's yeah, but yeah. If next season though, for example, like I'm very confused with what the hell they're doing with Noah Senge right now, because like they sent him down to the G League on Wednesday of last week, and then I was expecting him to start the G League season down there because on Saturday the Windy City played their first game, the Windy City Bulls, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna start the season in the G League, and that's good, right? And then he gets called back up for the 2-game road trip for Friday and Saturday, so he doesn't play in the G League on Saturday when it's the opening night for them, and we sent him back down today, and we called him back up today. So I don't understand what's happening with the Senge. I'm very confused. If for some reason like they're just keeping him around on the main roster just cause, then it's absolutely stupid as hell. I would much rather him, because he's just getting DNP CDs at this moment in time. Like, I would much rather him just go down and just play in the G League for now, and just get the minutes. Like, I'm genuinely confused at what they're doing. Very lost. So they gotta figure this shit out quick. Olbrich, if you're wondering, Olbrich had a great game on Saturday. I don't know if they played tonight. They might have played tonight as well, but I think a second needs to be down there. I'm confused as fuck, because if he's not going to get 6 or 8 minutes a game up here, right, then I don't know why he's up here right now with the squad. So I don't know. Like, I think it's just because of all the injuries right now that they're just kind of just like, okay, well, once Giddey gets back, once Kobe gets back, then we'll send him down officially. But even then, I just would question it, because like you still had Javon Carter, who wasn't getting any minutes, and he finally got minutes tonight. But like, you had another guy still. I don't know. I guess they're just preparing for the worst if someone else, like, had a significant injury or something like that. But yeah, not happy. I'm not happy right now with what they're doing with the Senge. I'd rather him play up here and like have him get some time, and even if he fails, or just have him go down to the G League and just play a billion minutes down there. So I'm very confused. Yeah, Collins 3%. Yeah, it was 30%. It was low. I was talking about Giddey scoring. I don't think he likes taking that many shots in the first place. The guy's definition of a classic floor general point guard mentality wise. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think with Giddey, like, I'm totally fine if he's gonna be like that, but he just can't be the main guy. Like, that's totally fine. And that will be a very, very important aspect of the team if you can get that main scores, and you have a Giddey as well that can shoot the 3-point shot, but also be passing the ball around to others. Like, that's gonna be very important. But I could definitely tell that with Kobe being out, that Giddey has tried to increase his scoring. Like, I could very clearly see it. Like, he's definitely had to take some shots. I could tell that he's not really looking to shoot here, but like, it's just kind of what's available. So I appreciate that though. Like, I think he has to go through that. Like, I think that's a thing he has to go through if he's gonna be a main ball handler. Like, he has to learn how to effectively work those moments when it's like, all right, no one else is really scoring. Like, it's up to me right now. So, I mean, we know for sure that the bottom feeding teams are going to keep the bottom feeding / tanking. The top 4 to 5 teams are pretty much safe usually. So there's that. No, I agree with the Bulls, at the end of last season. But you gotta give your props to Giddey, right? Like, he's come out and shown like, no, that March stretch was real, and basically post deadline stretch was real. Also, meant to give Herter his props. He's been impressive both ways. Oh, Herter's been incredible, bro. The biggest thing with Herter this season that I give him a lot of props for is that Herter has not had the greatest season so far from 3-point range. And like, tonight he had 4, which is, great to see. But like, I'm assuming this is after tonight's game here. But like, even after hitting 4 threes tonight, he's still only shooting 34% from 3-point range. Just to see what he did beforehand. Like, Herter was not shooting well coming into tonight, like from 3-point range overall, like to his standards, right? Sorry, I just want to see the 3-point. Okay, so he was 14 of 41 coming into tonight, which I don't know, do the math. It was lower than before, but Herder's been fantastic. Like I think Herder defensively has been very solid. There's definitely some moments of still lapses, but like I'll take the effort defensively. But he's finding ways to score without the 3-point shot, and that's very valuable for a guy like him who moves well without the basketball, and can kind of be like a sort of like a decision maker at moments. Again, end of game, we did see some limitations to his game, which is we've known that from Herder for as long as he's been around. But yeah, like him off the bench, like having him off the bench is like with the way that he's playing right now is very valuable. He deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. Which also another guy that I was very concerned about when we got him at the trade deadline. I was very concerned with how he's playing with the Kings, but he's done fantastic so far this season without his 3-point shot, which is huge. Stacey cringes whenever he hears or jokingly says red velvet. Yeah. I know this is you talk about Asenge. I would at least want to see him like get like 3-6 minutes. Yeah, like 6 minutes, totally fine with Asenge, but he's not gonna get that. I was pissed when I say he didn't play the G League game. I did not understand why, but here we are. It's odd. If you consider DT better than Noah at any of those things at any given time, then why did you even draft him in the first place? He gets no run in the NBA. He gets no run in the G League. So what's the plan? Oh, bro, box. I don't know. Like, I think Asenge is pretty good defensively. He just, for some reason, they don't trust him. I think he's a better rebounder easily. He's a better offensive rebounder for sure. He's going to get to the free throw line, which DT doesn't. His 3-point shot's not going to be consistent early on. That's fine. But like, I think he'll find ways to still score. He's a better finisher at the rim for sure. Like, he is for sure a better finisher around the rim than DT. His handles are definitely not like. You can argue if they're better than DT's or not, but like, yeah, I understand his handling is not the best right now. But Dalen Terry is not gonna be able to drive and finish anytime soon in his career, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'd rather just have Noah in the G League. I don't know what they're doing. If you, the front office, not literally you, prefer to play someone who's probably going to be playing in Puerto Rico in a couple years over your 12th pick, I find that quite problematic. No two ways about it. I completely agree. No, I mean, Fox, you're hitting it right in the head. I honestly don't know why Dalen Terry's getting these minutes. In which, granted, Dalen Terry has not gotten minutes in some games so far this season, but I think Julian Phillips has played in almost every game. Again, I would much rather have Asenge get those minutes instead. And again, if he's not going to get those minutes, throw him in the G League. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, he's been the only guy right now that I think that's not going to be playing time. So, it's very confusing. I just like, and here's the thing that I'm going to say about this. Like, I wanted Asenge in this past draft because, I've always liked Phillips over Terry. I agree with that, but I think Asenge is more important to this team's future than Phillips is. Even if I do see Phillips eventually like finding a way like to be like kind of like a rotation player at some point, but like Asenge needs to play over Phillips if you're gonna be playing anybody. But if you're not gonna play Asenge, then throw him in the G League. But to get back to what I'm saying, like I really wanted Asenge in this past draft because I looked at him and I'm just like, I mean, the Bulls are not in a spot right now to be taking guys that are like safer picks. Like, they're just not in that sort of spot, at least in my opinion, right? Like, you don't have extra draft picks moving forward. I seriously doubt you're gonna tank, so you're not putting yourselves in the best position to try to get a top level prospect here that has blue chip prospect. So you're gonna have to do like all the guys that I'm like, all right, like who's available? I know that like a lot of people are looking at Queen right now and like, oh, you missed on him. I'm telling you right now with Queen, like he's been impressive, but I have a lot of questions about centers that do not play defense, and their value to this league, because the only guy that has ever been able to consistently do this is Jokic, and show that they're effectively winning, and that's because he's a guy that we've never seen before. Like he's one of the best players that we've ever seen. So he is the exception. But like Domantas Sabonis, for example, has been terrible this season. His lack of defense is on full display. His offense was also kind of fake. So Queen is interesting for sure, but I just like I don't think he was like, he to me is like a very serious risk because he has to turn into like an MVP for, at least in my opinion, for it to be worth it, because he's not going to play defense. I can understand Carter Bryant. Like, I know a lot of people have been talking about Carter Bryant, who played some minutes today, which was not very impressive, but like he is also like a project in a sense that probably could have been helping the Bulls team more so this year than Asenge would ever would. But like Carter Bryant to me is just like, he looks like Dalen Terry 2.0. Like I think that's something that with people, I'm just like, it's a very similar like build. Now Bryant should be a better shooter in a sense, but like I have questions still with Bryant and everything, which I think you have a lot of questions with those guys, because again, you don't get the luxury to draft more safer guys if you're picking, 11, 12, 13th. It's just not, it's not possible. You're gonna have to be drafting guys with some red flags. It's just how it's gonna have to be. I wanted to see Asenge because I understand he's gonna be a draft, like a absolute project, but I'm like, you can't teach 6'10" with the way that he moves. Like, I think that his instincts are definitely gonna be playing a factor to how he is as a player, and it's hard to teach that at such a young age, and he's the second youngest player in the draft. Like, I think it's worth the risk. However, here's the thing. You gotta develop him correctly, right? And right now, with what I'm seeing for the Bulls, I don't know what the absolute hell they're doing. Like, no clue. Like, I genuinely thought that we're gonna see him in the G League on Saturday, and the plan was for him to be in the G League until like through Christmas. And then we kind of reevaluate where he's at, and if we think that he's ready for NBA minutes, we bring him up. If he's not, we keep him down there, right? And I would have been totally fine with that. Like, I would have been completely fine if this season was most of the time Noah Senge's in the G League for most of the season. That is completely fine with me. He's getting his minutes. He's working on his game. He's working on things. Totally fine. If he's not going to do that, though, if he's not going to be sent to the G League, then he's got to play here. And he has not played in a game yet, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm very lost. I don't know what the absolute hell the Bulls are doing right now with this. And so now, unfortunately, it's gonna, if let's say Noah doesn't develop correctly, right, then it's gonna be like, oh, the Bulls absolutely just drafted the bust. But I'm gonna make the argument more so that they didn't develop him correctly, at least for what we're seeing right now. Like, I don't know what the plan is. So I'm gonna hope the beat writers get onto it. Like, I know that Casey Johnson won't ask people the hard questions because he works for Jerry Reinsdorf. But unfortunately, I might have to depend on Joe Coley to try to ask the hard questions here, because I don't know what the hell the plan is right now for Asenge. To me, it makes no sense for him just to be sitting on the bench every game and not playing when he should be in the G League and getting time. But again, if he's not in the G League, he has to get some minutes, and he's not going to get minutes on the squad because there's so many forwards that need minutes, but we're also so guard heavy that we got to play guards at forward positions. I don't know. It's really questioning to me. So, very confused. I'm very frustrated with how it's going so far. Bulls have time to fix it. They gotta fix it soon. Asenge needs to be taken care of properly here. I think Asenge can actively impact the game today. Like right now, if he was thrown into a game, it's not gonna be consistent, but every rookie has their issues. But I think he can impact the game right now. It won't be, finished product, or we're gonna be seeing oh, this is what Asenge is gonna turn into. But I'm pissed off at the fact that it's okay, we're not giving you minutes now. Fine, then put him in the G League. Just it's okay if he's in the G League. But I don't know, man. I'm lost. I'm genuinely lost right now with how things are going. We gotta find ways to figure this out with this thing. But if the Bulls don't have a plan, let's say it gets to December and the Bulls are still doing this bullshit where they're not they'll put Asenge down to G League for practice and bring him back up, and they're not letting him play down there, and he's still getting DMP CDs, then I'm gonna have to make a video or something calling him out or something. I'll be making my flame video to the front office, being like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I think personally that Asenge and Buzelis are gonna be a big part of this future. I really do. And right now with how Giddey's playing, he'll be part of the future as well. And here's the thing that I think the other option that some Bulls fans aren't maybe even looking at. Asenge, for example, he might not be part of this Bulls future as like him as a player himself, okay? But if we're looking to actively try to get this team a superstar, then developing Asenge to make him actually an enticing product is a very important thing then, right? Which means that no matter what, right, Asenge is going to be a very important part of this future, whether it's he's playing or he's traded, okay? But you have to make it enticing for him to be traded, which I don't think that's the plan. I think the plan is for him to stick around. Like, it's just like, right now, I don't know what they're accomplishing at this moment in time. It's pissing me off that he's just been called up and down from the Windy City, and I'm just like, bro, like, just leave him down there. Like, you're not gonna play him up here. Billy's not gonna play him up here. So, what's the plan? Like, I'm lost. Yeah, I don't know. That's the end of my rant. He's on the watch and learn program. No need to play in order to improve, you dummy Noah. I mean, that's just insane though. Like, if Billy Donovan, who I know is now in charge of like development and everything like that, like if that's his plan, then he needs to be fired immediately. But we know that's not gonna happen. And Noah Travis this weekend, I could see him maybe getting a few minutes in Utah. I mean, that'd be a good matchup, honestly. I mean, here's the thing. Utah's honestly been like pretty okay to start the year, so I know that some Bulls fans were thinking, oh, easy win. That's not going to be like a simple win. Utah's like had some games where they've actually like done pretty well. So, you know, as long as Markkanen's alive and, you know, not hurt, like they'll have some thunder in that lineup. So be careful. Anyway, yeah, this is not like a simple win, but yeah, if you know, if blowout, then get him some time there, or just play him. Like, I'd be okay with that. Complaining about the op size when we could literally have 3 mobile 6'10" guys on the floor for positions 3 to 5 and essentially don't even use one of them. Oh, I mean, bro. Yeah, don't get me started on today again. Like, the fact that Buzelis was not in to end the game was so damn stupid. I was losing my mind. Yeah. Means you've already lost your chance to complain about size. Yeah, 100%, yes. Yeah, the Bulls can't complain about size. It's just not a thing. You can't complain about size. Yeah, you cannot complain. A little late to the stream, but increasingly frustrating to see how they've lost. Yeah, Razi. I mean, it's pretty much been the same story the last 3 games, right? The superstar takes over in the 4th quarter, and the Bulls can't stop them, and the Bulls are struggling to score. Now, obviously, against the Cavs, it was really late with Donovan Mitchell. And today it was pretty late with Wemby, but you're just seeing the difference between superstar on the squad versus no superstar on the squad and how late game scenarios are working out. It's tough. Kobe's coming back this week, isn't he? So the plan is for Kobe is that he's gonna, the Bulls, if you're wondering about their schedule moving forward here, okay? From what I read, and maybe things have changed, so correct me if I'm wrong, but what I read from Will Gottlieb, I'm gonna pull up his Twitter, is that the plan is for him to come back in one of these games here. Oh, sorry. And one of these 3 games here. God, tell me. Come on. Sorry. It's one of these 3 games here. It's going to be on the West Coast trip, which, by the way, that is coming up. We're going to have some late night streams on this channel. But he's either going to come back and he's going to come back in one of these 3 games listed here. So I'm going to go ahead and say he's not going to play in both of these games. If, let's say he comes back against Utah, he will not be playing in Denver because that's a back-to-back, and I don't think Kobe's gonna be playing in back-to-backs to start. But we will see. But he'll be coming back at some point here. So it's not. I guess it could technically be this week. No, it's gonna be next week, unless you count Sunday as this week and as part of this week. But that's for people to figure out. So we will see what ends up happening. Forgot about Giddey, who's also huge. Yeah, I mean, we don't have Giddey, but yeah, we don't have a right to complain about size, honestly. I guess, you know, playing Utah mainly from a matchup standpoint, Utah ain't a gimme right now. I mean, yeah, they're not a gimme. They're definitely not a gimme for what we've seen so far. It's early. I do expect Utah to not be good, but they're definitely not a gimme. And especially with the way the Bulls have lost these last couple of games, it's not a gimme. And we'll see who's available. I'm gonna expect Giddey will be fine by then. The Bulls are gonna have 3 days off before, like, they're gonna face the Pistons on Wednesday, and they're gonna have 3 days off before they face Utah. So I'm gonna hope Giddey's healed by then. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to look at that. realized to see Kobe playing as Denver. That makes sense. Yeah, I could see Denver being the target date. You'll be off, and then before you play Portland, which then we're gonna hope that Kobe also plays in that game. But we will then see. Bulls gonna be 7-7, I bet. What's your prediction then? So we're now what? We're 6-4 now, right? Reminder to everybody once again how quickly this can change. Like, remember we were up here, right? You guys remember that? Like, it just, like, you have to understand that. I understand that tonight may be one of those nights where it's like, okay, you know, we'll give the Bulls some slack because, you know, no Giddey tonight, but you know, these teams up at the top here, like, they'll win even like without some of their main guys. So, like, the fact the Bulls blew that Cleveland game is like pretty devastating. The Bucks game sucked. It was a tough matchup, right? But I think it kind of shows that the Bucks are, you know, they're right at this current moment in time a little bit tier than the Bulls right now. But it's fast, right? You know, it went from one loss to the Bucks led us to here, and then one loss to the Cavs led us to here. Some things changed, you know, and then we came in tied for third, we were fourth, and now we're here. So we're now tied for sixth. I've been adamant that this team is pretty solid, and right now they're 500. I've also said that I think this team is going to be better than people think. And this team, a team that I think should be jumping up. Now, granted, the Magic have also sucked. So maybe the Magic are also just bad. But, like, if you think that it's just going to hold, I don't know what to tell you. Philly also, as long as they have Maxey still playing, like, they're a very good team. So, yeah, I made it a goal for the Bulls to win one of the Bucks or Cavs games, and here we are. So, for you, Rozzy, I'm interested. What do you think? So you see 7-7. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to give you guys some luck here, or give the Bulls some luck, right? Because I said that the Bulls are gonna lose to the Pistons on opening night, and they beat the Pistons. So I'm gonna say the Bulls are gonna lose to the Pistons on Wednesday because the Pistons are rolling. Cunningham, I mean, I know Cunningham didn't have the best game today, but like he's been doing pretty good, and Duran's been insane. And we've seen how much big men recently, Giannis, Mobley, Wembanyama, have killed us these past 3 games. So I think the Pistons are going to win on Wednesday. So that gives us a 6-5. Then, if you're guessing 7-7, so I'm assuming we're going to lose to Denver. That would give us our 6L. But then that means we go 1-1 here. Then we only win one of Portland versus Utah, which is honestly pretty reasonable because Portland, for some reason, I you know, maybe honestly there's actual allegations that are true when it comes to Chauncey Billups, but like Portland's been better since the Chauncey Billups firing, and Denny Avdia, who I don't agree with things that he you know, says and stuff, but he's been playing really well, and like, you know, Jeremy Grant's actually like very good off the bench, and this is without like Shaden Sharp like, you know, figuring it out. So we will see. That Portland game's gonna be interesting because like there's also like a reason for the Bulls to like actually lose that game for their pick. I mean the Portland pick, because we need Portland to make the playoffs, and so you know, the Bulls losing that game would not be like the worst thing in the world. In terms of trying to get an extra draft pick, but obviously the Bulls are never going to go into Portland or into any game thinking, oh, we're going to intentionally lose. So, but just saying that the Bulls lose that game, it's like not the worst thing in the world. Yeah. It'll be 7-7. So 7-7, honestly, Rozzy, is not a bad. It's not a bad prediction. I'm gonna hope the Bulls are not 7-7, because then it's like, holy shit, that means we reached 500 after winning our first 5. That means we reached 500 in the next 9 games. Like, God, bro, that'd be so devastating if we started 5-0 and all of a sudden we're 500 after 14 games. Like, that'd be so devastating. But it's very possible. Like, it's unfortunately very possible right now. Yeah. Do you think Smith can get dealt for a few seconds? I don't think a few. I think you might. I think at most you get 2, and when I see a few, I always correlate that to 3, but I don't know if you do that. So, if you mean a few as like a couple of seconds, maybe, they wouldn't be that valuable though. Like they'd be definitely like less valuable seconds, but I maybe could see it. The problem is though, is like I don't really know how teams value stuff like that right now. It's this odd moment right now with the CBA and everything. And teams are really valuing cap space next offseason, so I don't really know how possible that is without like taking back some sort of contract, which I don't want to do. But maybe. But there's an argument that you should maybe look to trade another center before then. Cam Boozer, here we come. I mean, look, I wouldn't mind Cam Boozer, obviously. I just think that after a 5-0 start, you shouldn't be talking about this, but here we are. These 8 to 10 placements are haunting me, man. It's just funny. Yep, here we are. Oh, darkness, my old friend. Is there a way to bet right now that we're going to face the Heat in the play-ins? Is the third time going to be a charm? Yeah. No. It's terrible. Wait, wouldn't it be the 4th time, right, Box? It'd be the 4th time, wouldn't it? Or no, yeah, it'd be the 4th time. Yeah. It'd be the 4th time we'd be facing the Heat in the play-in tournament if we face them again, which I predicted that we would. I said that the Bulls would be facing the Heat in the play-in tournament in my preseason predictions. I did have the Bulls at 10 and Miami at 9. So, yeah, here we go. Bro, I'm telling you right now, if the Bulls actually end up in this spot again, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like, you should not be in like. You should not be like the 9th or 10th seed after this sort of start. You just shouldn't. We need help Portland get to the playoffs. Yeah. Yeah. We're about to start ourselves up far enough from both the top 4 in the playoffs. Top 4 lottery in the playoffs the Bulls' way. I hope not, but here we are. I think this year's draft is generational, hella deep with talent. Bro, I think that honestly, if you get a top 3 pick, you got the first overall pick. This draft is insane. So, yeah, I agree with you, Noel. So he needs to knock them off their high horse. SBS, so be it. I am old enough to still hate both the Pistons and the Knicks. I don't blame you. Bro, the Pistons, all of a sudden, they just look great. So, to be fair, it's a really hard schedule. Well, here's the thing, though. I said that the start of this season for the Bulls was a really hard schedule, and they beat this team, they beat this team, they beat this team, this is a shit team, and they beat the Knicks once. Like, I was like, oh my god, bro. I predicted the Bulls were gonna start 2-9. Okay, in the first 11, I said 2-9. And here we are, and they started 5-0. And now all of a sudden I'm like looking at them just like, oh boy, like like just so that we're aware, okay, if we started 2-9, okay, and now we're gonna head into this, like, what do you think we would be? Like, we'd be awful. Like, we'd be on the league at this point, right? So, props to them, but like, if the whole point is that you're supposed to be showing that you're better against these teams, then like you gotta beat these teams. Like, you beat the Pistons already, which granted, I don't know if like the Pistons are weird. Like, they, for some reason, they always start slow, but like, you beat them already. You gotta go and beat them again. Well, let's say you don't. Like, let's say you don't beat this Pistons squad, and I'm assuming Giddey's back. But like, what are we looking at all of a sudden now? Rough. Going 2-7 to starting 5-0, I would just give up. I mean, I don't like, it'd be so horrific, but it's possible. Yeah. I think this team will beat up on a lot of most bad teams and compete with better ones. So 7-7 isn't bad, I guess. It's just a typical though. We hover around 500 into the play-in, and that's gotten us nowhere, man. Yeah. Being a Chicago sports fan in general has to be some kind of curse at this point, right? Yeah. I mean, I made this joke with my friend David Box, okay? I joked that in Chicago sports, you can only have one good thing like in every year, right? And so, for example, the Cubs made the playoffs this season, right? That's the one good thing that Chicago sports is going to get, because here's the reality. Unfortunately, the Bears are, you know, they're doing pretty good this season. It just so happens that we're in the toughest fucking division ever. That, like, even after our win last weekend against the Giants on Sunday or yesterday, like, our chances of making the playoffs are still below 50%. Like, it's like we might actually have a hell of a season, but we still actually could miss the playoffs because of just the division that we're in, and the division's so fucking stacked that it's just like, well, sucks to suck. So basically my joke is just that, like, we already got our one good thing, which is that the Cubs made the playoffs, right? So I'm not expecting anything good for the Bulls, which means that we're going to end up in purgatory again. I'm hoping this is not the case. I'm just making the joke. Yeah, it's just I don't know what to say. I mean, the White Sox aren't gonna be good anytime soon. The Blackhawks, I mean, like, I know that they've had some success, I guess, at the start of the season, but, like, I don't know how much I put faith in that right now. Unfortunately, even with the Bulls 5-0 start, I still came on my stream and said that I'm still concerned about things, and I had people coming in and saying that, like, why can't you just support the team, bro? And I'm like, bro, I have legitimate concerns that I think should be told, and here we are. Yet again, the Bulls gave up a shit ton of points in the paint tonight, which has, like, you know, in some of their losses, it hasn't been much of an issue, actually. It's kind of weird, but it's still something that I'm still concerned about. Like, it's eventually going to come back to haunt us again. Where are we at now? No, we're still pretty bad, actually. Okay, so after this game, we're now bottom 5 again in terms of points in the paint given up. So that's yet again a concern, and I think it's a legitimate concern. Yeah, I'm really concerned right now. Which I know reinforcements are on the way. Like, I know Kobe's on the way. I know Zach Collins is supposed to come back, and Giddey should be, you know, hopefully back very soon here. But none of those guys are current All-Stars, so that's my thing. Chicago versus Miami should be named the Play-In Classic, and Miami wins, right? But yeah, it should be the Play-In Classic for sure. Yeah, you're right. Screw that. We've lost 3 times in a row to the Heat in the play-ins. Yep, we've lost. We've lost our 3rd time's the charm potential, and so I don't know, man. It honestly looks like we're heading that way. Which, I mean, in theory, like, we shouldn't be, because the Heat actually are, like, pretty solid. This is, like, by the way, the Heat are doing this without Tyler Hero, so, like, they also have reinforcements coming. So, like, they're missing their all-star guard, and they're still doing this. So, I mean, I think the Heat really shouldn't be in the play-in, but, like, who knows? Things happen. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be the Bulls are the 10 seed and the Heat are the 7 seed, and somehow, some way, we end up facing each other in the last play-in game, and we still end up losing. Yeah. Piece of news for the Bulls: after Miami, they have 7 potential get-right games. They do, yeah. So this is when the Bulls kind of, like, their schedule kind of clears up a little bit, right? So Washington, New Orleans, Charlotte, Indiana. Like, these are games the Bulls should win. Like, if the Bulls don't win all 4 of these games, then this is an issue. Orlando could be tough still. Like, I still don't know what to think about this Magic squad. That's gonna be weird. I'm gonna go ahead and say, if Cam Thomas is playing in this game, which I know that he's missing some time, but, like, if Cam Thomas is playing in this game, I am legitimately scared about this game here against Brooklyn. Should win this game, and then it's back to tough schedule, which I don't know if Trae Young's gonna be back at this point, but we'll see. But then it's back to, like, you know, tough moments, right? Philly, Milwaukee. So that's our January, or sorry, that's our this November through December schedule. There's also 2 games not listed on the schedule yet between Golden State and Cleveland, so we do not know where this is going to be placed in, or who's going. We have 2 games here basically that will be determined from our in-season tournament results here, which I think after that Bucks loss is gonna be tough for us to advance, but we will see. But we'll be facing 2 teams that are pretty random, and we don't know how good they are. So hope and pray to God it's someone bad. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to look at. I'm a Cubs fan, but I love Colson Montgomery. I love him too. I love Colson Montgomery. It's just that the Sox are just bad, unfortunately. So, and we're owned by Reinsdorf too, which is, yes. I've dedicated my sports fandom to 2 Reinsdorf owned teams. Don't know why I did it. I hate my life because of it, but it's just who I am. I'm gonna I'm gonna power through, and hopefully I see the day where our Reinsdorf is not owning both teams, and I can really cheer for one. And hopefully it's a good owner. That's important. But yeah, I truly I've truly set myself up for misery with cheering on 2 Reinsdorf owned teams. But at least I have the Bears, and unfortunately they're owned by the McCaskies, and I hate them as well. Got it. Chicago sports owners, man, they suck. The Ricketts aren't great either. Yeah, Sox were 500 after the All-Star break. They were, yeah. There's definitely some positive stuff from the Sox, but I'm just always prepared for the worst. After the worst season of all time, it's been rough. Petition to change name from Chicago Bulls to Chicago. Am I saying that right? Sisyphus? Condemned to roll a boulder up a hill only for it to roll back down every time. Eternal struggle, eternal failure. Am I saying that right? Oh god, it's Greek mythology. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. That's awesome. How do I say it?
Sisyphus.
Oh wait, I missed it. Hold on.
Sisyphus.
Oh yeah, Sisyphus. Okay, yeah. That's a great picture, Box. That is an awesome picture. If you're wondering, this is what comes up on Google search. It's just like, oh god, yeah. Yeah. We honestly should. At least Chicago. Wild Coyotes. Oh yeah, Coyotes. Yeah. Keeps coming back with elaborate plans to catch the road, and every single time he fails spectacularly. As long as Iowa's playing Trae Young is not a factor. Everyone knows Iowa is sunning Trae every single time. I honestly, bro, I did not realize how good Iowa has been. Like, I knew Iowa was good against Trae, but then I looked up his all-time stats against Trae Young, or his record against Trae Young. And it's just like, it's insanely good. I did not realize that he's been that good. Let's see here. Yeah. So after that last win against the 3rd game of the season where the Bulls won against the Hawks, Iowa is now 10-2 against Trae Young. It's just like, bro, how the hell this dude is just actually sunning Trae Young. It's so funny to me. And one of them, Iowa hit a game winner, right? Iowa got the game winner where he got the rebound off a DeRozan miss. He just put it back up and in. Like, he is just straight up a thorn in Trae Young's backside. It's so funny to me, and I love it. I love every minute of it. Yeah, it's so funny to me that Iowa is just sunning Trae Young consistently. You said it right. Yeah, I appreciate it. Guys, for sure having nightmares every night when they play the Bulls. It's honestly so funny. It's so hilarious to me. Trae, though, I won't lie. Trae Young has not looked that great for a bit now. Like, end of last season into this season, he's not looked that great. So, hope he gets right, but his shooting has not been good. Hope he's not hitting a decline in his career suddenly at such a young age, but if you're wondering, in his 5 games to start the season, he shot 19% from 3. Last season, he shot 34% from 3-point range, which is not as, like, I mean, like, we've seen better seasons. So it's been interesting for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Hawks are also in a weird spot right now, but yeah, it is what it is with them. All right. I have not done film breakdown yet. I just realized, what time is it? Okay, we're not at midnight. All right, I'm getting a message from some people about the game. All right, so I think that I'm probably gonna be just skipping film breakdown here. Actually, hold on. I wrote down notes throughout the game. Let me see if I need to bring up one play, I think. I'll pull up one play, I think. This. And so, this is not right. What the what? Wait, hold on. Yes, this is so wrong from MB.com. What the hell? That is so incorrect. It's insane. Okay, hold on. We're gonna go here. No, we're not. Okay, wow. Hold on. MB.com is bugged. We're onto my recording because that is not the right play. That's a Bulls possession, but I'm clicking on very clearly a Spurs possession. So that's all messed up. Trey has never been good at shooting, to be honest. He consistently shoots low percentages. He's a great playmaker, and the Hawks need to get him better players so he can shift to like the third option. Like, so I'm very much aware that Trey's like overall shooting percentages have never been like great. Like he shoots like, you know, like lower 40s percentages wise, but like I had to look at this because like I think at the end of last season it was just like it was nothing good for him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just making it up in my head. Okay, no, I guess I was just making it up in my head. Okay, yeah, but yeah, I guess it was more so this season then. But I was just like, bro, he has been like 19%. Like I know it's 5 games only, but like that's ridiculously low. For Trae Young standards wise, like it's just 43% and 35% on 18 and a half. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like the 3-point percentage needs to go up for sure, but I mean I doubt it's ever gonna happen. Like he's not gonna change the way that he's gonna be playing. I'm only gonna do this just like I'm not fully blaming, like I'm blaming Patrick Williams on this one play, but I'm doing this as a whole to show that the Bulls need to make sure that their effort on the defensive glass needs to continue to be better. Okay, because this has been an issue for the Bulls in the past 3 to 4-ish games right now, that the offensive rebounding has been an issue. Okay. And so let's watch this play here where Patrick Williams does not get the rebound, okay? Like, this to me was pretty egregious because Keldon Johnson was here, Patrick was here, Keldon Johnson just goes like, what? And Patrick doesn't box out at all, okay? And it ends up being this, right? Like, this is not like, oh, bad bounce, oh, this went, you know, shot went sideways or unlucky moment, right? This was specifically, Patrick, you need to be better, right? Just straight up, he just has to be better. When we talk about lack of rebounding, this is not one of those moments where he's guarding someone on the perimeter and contesting their shot, right? This is straight up, hey, you need to just box out Keldon Johnson, who is, for his size, he's honestly pretty good at crashing the boards. You're bigger than him. You're taller than him. You need to get this rebound, just straight up, okay? And I say this as a whole to like everybody on the Bulls, okay? Because this next possession I'm going to show you, I need to go back to the play-by-play, where Cornette missed the free throws, right? Like, this is just stuff, at least in my opinion, that can be eliminated, okay? And yeah, I'm not very high on this Bull squad as a whole, but when it comes to you winning the margins, right? Like the Bulls can't afford to give up offensive rebounds. The way they're doing right now. Okay, this is stuff that needs to get fixed. Okay, so like for example, let's watch Cornette shoot some free throws. Right, like this is a miss. Right, rebound by Keldon Johnson. So Herter, Phillips, you can't let this happen. Okay. Threw out Champagny, okay, wide open 3-point shot, and I talked about how offensive rebounds lead to wide open threes. Okay, this is how you can eliminate wide open threes. You just get the damn rebound. He misses, right? Cornette gets the rebound. So 2 offensive rebounds already this possession. You didn't throw it back out to Wembanyama. He shoots. Or no, I guess he didn't shoot. My bad. I thought he shot it. Keldon Johnson then misses. Okay. And then another offensive rebound for Fournette. Like, this just can't happen, right? This is the stuff that just cannot happen moving forward. And I'm frustrated seeing how the Bulls have been lacking on their defensive rebounding game. But I'm hoping to see this gets better moving forward here. Really quickly, I just want to see this. Let's go 3 games. We'll do the last 3 games for us here, and this is updated. Okay, so this is actually not too bad, but this still overall I need to see better from the Bulls moving forward. What is their? I want to see the rebounding percentage, because like this actually could be okay still, but I'm interested. Oh, okay. We're actually pretty alright right now when it comes to this. This is good. I know that if I add in this game, is this where it like tanks a little bit more? Okay, so that last game, that I guess it's Philly game, was pretty bad. And then if we add in the Knicks L, well here. Okay. Honestly, this is better than I thought. I remember looking at this and it was like last stream, it was like in the mid area. I was just like, bro, we can't let this happen. So honestly, this has been better than I thought it was. The reason though, if we look at these past couple of games, it was just where I was looking at, just to go off of the last games here for the Bulls. Okay, so again, tonight, for example, we gave up 9 offensive rebounds. Okay, actually, I'll go through the score because it's easier for me. Cleveland, okay, we gave up 10 offensive rebounds. Okay, Milwaukee, we gave up 14 offensive rebounds. Okay, and then Philly, it got better for the Bulls, but like the 76ers had like 9 offensive rebounds like in the first half, right? Like it was unacceptable from us. There were too many second chance points in that game. And then the New York loss here, we gave up 14 offensive rebounds as well. This was a major issue in this game. So all right, the Bulls are actually better than I thought they were, so that's a good sign. However, still, even with the stats being better than I thought that they were, I've talked about consistently that the Bulls don't have margins for error, right? So closing out possessions is going to be vital for them to keep up with teams throughout the game, right? We cannot be giving up offensive rebounds and letting them get open threes. It's going to be extremely important. So that's something that I'm going to be looking at moving forward for the Bulls. Last 5 games, though, because these are our losses, okay, and that includes the Philly game, which, you know, we'll keep the Philly game in here. I just want to look at some stats with you guys. Again, last 5 games. This is updated with the Bulls. Offensive rating has declined significantly these last 5 games. So fast break points were still up here. That's good to see. We were never good in second chance points usually. Yeah, so that's not atypical. Points off turnovers. Okay, this is actually interesting. So we are actually being pretty bad in points off turnovers. Points to the paint, though, the Bulls have gone down a little bit, but it's still pretty solid. Opponent points in the paint has been not great overall. Let's see. We're bottom half here. Let's see. Opponent fast break points are yikes. Okay, this has been good. From the Bulls, we're top half at least, so this is better than I thought it was. And then points off turnovers for let's see, where are the Bulls? The Bulls have actually done a decent job when it comes to limiting this number. Okay, that's good to know. Now, offensive rating, though, this is the interesting part to me. We have lacked free throws, I know that for sure. This has been bad. Oh, sorry, hold on, let's go to the last 5. Okay, not a lot of free throws. Field goal percentage is definitely in a lower end. Let's see. Okay, it's here. Now the 3-point percentage continues to be good. Let's see. How many turnovers? Is that an issue right now? I mean, the turnovers aren't too bad. All right. So I hate to say this, but what I'm seeing right now with how our offensive rating has like kind of plummeted within these last 5 games here. Quite interesting, honestly. Like, so for just reference, okay, for the season, we're averaging 119 points per game. For the season, our offensive rating for the season is suddenly now bottom half of the league. It's 115. Okay. Last 5 games for the Bulls, our offensive rating is 111. That's not good. And then last 5 games for the Bulls, there's a points per game. It is 115. So this has been definitely down for sure. That's important. But I hate to say this honestly, because what I think that really helped the Bulls earlier on has been that these paint points were really carrying the squad early, which, you know, good job at the Bulls. That's what they should be doing. But we're starting to see a math issue a little bit recently. Now, this could continue. It could not. I'm just pointing things out for what we've seen these past 5 games for the Bulls here. Okay. If we want to get more specific, we can go to the last 3. But there's a bit of a math issue right now for the Bulls at this current moment in time. Sorry, last 5 games. So here's the Bulls. Okay, we're averaging about 90 shots a game. Okay, we only have 21 free throws attempted, which is in the bottom part of the league. Okay, this is an issue. Our points in the paint are still solid, right? It's not as good as it was before, but it's still solid. Our 3-point shooting is still great in terms of percentage-wise, right? However, and this is the important part, this number might have to increase, okay? Our attempts, because last season we were much higher in attempts per game, okay? This season has been a very much it's been an adamant, you know, emphasis to attack the paint, try to get inside, and, you know, kick it back out, spread the ball around, etc. The problem is that we're seeing some moments, especially in these last couple of games, where players are turning down threes, and it's like I don't think we can turn those down. And as much as like people are like, oh, you know, not that big of an issue or whatever, it's like these points add up at the end of the day. Like, unfortunately, there is a math in all of this, and it's not like we're not getting enough shots up. Like, we're up here in terms of shots per game, right? Our defense has not been good, if you're wondering. It has not been good, but it's important to recognize that our math, like, for the reason why the Bulls' offense has been lower compared to how we started, it's like there's a bit of a math thing going on right now, where I do think that the threes need to go up a little bit, and if they don't, right, then we gotta get more free throws. Okay, that's gonna be vital for the Bulls. They gotta get some free throws. So it's one of those two things needs to happen. If you're gonna be attacking the paint consistently, which they have done for this season, you also gotta get free throws. The threes will then take care of itself. But with the way that their lack of free throw rate is, their paint attack is great, but the lack of free throws is not making up for the lack of overall attempts from 3-point range right now. Which is not like that drastically low. It's just for the fact that you're not like taking 43s a game, and so right now you're still top 10 here in terms of like threes made, but other teams up here are making more, and each shot is worth 3 points, right? So just one less make is pretty significant. So I'm gonna be paying attention to a couple of things moving forward when it comes to this Bulls team. Okay, there's multiple things to be looking at in terms of how they're going to be fixing some things, but first and foremost, and I know that, like, to me personally, okay, in these last 5 games for the Bulls, this number is a facade a little bit of like, oh, the Bulls are like average in terms of points in the paint. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's not really the case. Like, we're more here. Okay? This last 3 games for the Bulls. Defense needs to get better because it's been bad the last few 5-ish games. It's been pretty bad. offense needs to find a way to get to the free throw line. Giddey has been probably our main source to get to the free throw line, but I'm looking at guys like Buzelis, right? Buzelis has to get to the free throw line, find ways to get there. Kobe's going to help with that when he does get back, but like, again, we can't be relying on him right now. We don't know when he's going to actually come back officially, so that's going to be important. So get to the free throw line more, or start shooting threes more, one or the other. We got to find a way to make up some points here, because we're consistently finding ourselves like below 120 right now. Let's see. So like just off these like last couple of games, right? So we have 116, 113, 110, 122, and 117. So in the Cleveland loss, it was we got to 122, but that's after us having like 72 points in the first half, right? So not a good second half, right? This is not good enough. Yeah, the Bulls could have some things to look at in terms of making up some points here. For reference, right? Start of the season, okay? It was 115, 110, 128, 126, 135, right? So a lot of points here for sure. But the offense was clearly just humming a lot more. So these points matter at the end of the day. These all matter. I've always said this to people to understand when it comes to how much these points matter. You lose each quarter by 3 points. Okay, we're talking one bucket. You lose each quarter by 3 points. You lose by 12. Okay, you lose each quarter by 4 points. You lose by 16. That's basically a blowout, right? So these points, like the way that you got to generate these points, it really does matter. Okay, I do think a lack of a superstar has sort of been part of this issue. By getting to the free throw line, usually a star can get there consistently, but I do think the shot selection could be a little bit better in terms of taking threes and taking them when they're open and not killing the offense. So I'm gonna be paying attention to getting to the free throw line more. That's gonna be big. Be paying attention to our paint defense, which is still an issue. Okay, and then I want to be looking at shot selection these next games here, which they're big tests, especially that Pistons game, but I'm gonna have to see how things are gonna work out. We gotta see this team improve on their shot selections moving forward here. So love the passing still. We're still doing that really well. That's not something I'm really concerned about, but guys gotta still take the open looks when they're available to them. Just see here, I think the Bulls are still like, we're 7th in passing in the last 5 games. Like even the last 3 games, still, I think we're still even pretty good. They're all losses, but passing's good. But still always talk about that. Like, we need someone. We're still top 6 in terms of passing per game. So, all right, Bulls. That's a thing to look at. Some things to look at. I mean, paying attention to a lot of things, but we got a big test next game. So. Bulls are off tomorrow. Make sure that you go ahead and tune into. I think most of us will be getting this game on NBC tomorrow, so tune in for this one. We will see who's available. It sucks that Tatum's not playing, right? Because this will be a banger matchup. But we will see who's available. But if you're like, why should I tune in? Well, Maxi's playing, right? At the bare minimum. So Tyrese Maxey is just an absolute, just awesome player to watch right now. So even if Embiid's not playing, you should watch this game. So yeah, definitely tune into this one. Second game of the night is, the Kings suck, but Jokic is awesome. So if you get this game, because you're on the West Coast, or actually this might only just be on Peacock, but we'll see. Tune in for this game tomorrow. But after tomorrow on Tuesday, Bulls are going to be facing the Detroit Pistons, who are now 9-2 on Wednesday. Okay. So Pistons had a rough start to the season. They lost to us, and then they had another L that was pretty disappointing. I don't remember who it was against, but I remember it was like, didn't expect that one. And now Cunningham is averaging 27.5 and 9 or 10, and Jalen Duren has been an absolute tear recently. So, like I said, I'm gonna do the whole jinx of just because I said the Bulls were gonna lose the opener against them, and the Bulls won. So. I'm going to hope that's going to be the case here. I am very scared though about Duran, because I thought the Bulls definitely got some luck when it came to that opener where Duran got into foul trouble early, which props to the Bulls for doing that. But Duran opened the game up with 2 alley-oop dunks, and then he got into foul trouble, had to come out of the game. So get him in foul trouble early again, or else I feel he's just be dunking on our heads all night. So please find a way to do that. Got to find a way to slow down Cunningham. So I expect Okoro to be on him like we saw in the opener. I expect Io to take some minutes as well. We're going to be seeing a lot of guys guarding Cunningham throughout the night, but we got to find a way to slow him down. Cunningham in the fourth quarter has been very, very good. So if this ends up being a close game, they have a guy, right? Like, they have a guy that has been just closing out these games for them. So please, for the love of God, be careful, especially in the fourth quarter against Cunningham, because he is taking over for them and he's done his job well. So we got a hell of a test again. But the Bulls have beaten this team already with the current people, assuming Giddey is available. We will see. But if Giddey's available, then the Bulls have beaten this team already with the current people available on their squad. So it's doable. But I do think the Pistons are better now than when we saw them on opening night. But they're definitely beatable. I mean, hell, they had to take it to overtime against the Wizards, and like Jenkins had to hit an insane shot. So if the Wizards can almost beat them in their current form, then the Bulls can definitely beat them. But we gotta bring it, right? So be careful against this team. This team is also dominating the paint recently. This is what really scares me. This also scares me. So please be on high alert. And for the love of God, Billy Donovan, for the love of God, if someone off the bench is having an insane game, then keep him out there. I don't care if Vooch has to only play like 20 minutes in that game. If Jalen Smith, who has played phenomenal the past like 3-ish games, right? And Jalen Smith's honestly been pretty good like the past like week or so. But if Jalen Smith is having an insane game and Vooch is sucking again, then play Jalen Smith down the stretch of the game. Okay, please. Like, I cannot stand what Donovan has done these past 2 games, and some people are going to argue that we've lost these past 2 games because of Donovan, which he's definitely played a part, at least in my opinion. But for the love of God, play the best guys that are playing that night. Okay, if someone's hot, keep them in. If Buzelis is not sucking, then we need him out there. Okay, Buzelis was very good in the fourth quarter on opening night against the Pistons, so we know that he's capable. So I just pray to God that Billy's gonna find a way to figure this out. But I don't know. Just when I thought that I was like turning a corner on Billy Donovan and my criticism on him, suddenly we're back. We're back to criticizing the absolute living hell out of Billy Donovan. So looking for better decisions from the coaching staff in this game, especially down the stretch. We got to play whoever has it going. You got to play them. Keep playing those guys. Don't care, honestly. I don't care how much we're getting paid. Just play those guys. It's gonna be important. So big test, 6 p.m. Central Time. So it is gonna be earlier start, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, post game on this channel. So make sure you come back and tune in to post game stream. And hopefully it's to be a Bulls win. Hopefully we will see. I'm concerned though. I won't lie. Hopefully Giddey comes back and plays well. With that being said though, thank you guys all for tuning into this post game stream tonight. I sincerely appreciate everyone that came in and chatted, and we had a great time tonight. So thank you guys so much for all tuning in. Tough Bulls lost tonight. Yeah, I'll just leave it there when it comes to that. And Billy Donovan needs to be better. That's for sure. If you have not already hit the like button on the stream, please do. Helps me out a lot. I sincerely appreciate all the likes on the streams recently. It truly means a lot. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button and showing support. If you're new to the channel like Bulls content, please subscribe. I'll be making Bulls content all season long. And one more shout out to my On Tap Sportsnet author page. I'm currently in the process of working on something right now, so definitely be on the lookout for a new article from me in this week. So I'm not sure when it's gonna be coming out, but be on the lookout for a new article from me this week for sure. So it'll be definitely out at some point this week. So be on the lookout for new articles. But if you want to just check out other content from all the other Bulls on Tap content creators, then please go check them out. I appreciate the team a lot there. They're really good at what they do. So please go check out anything that's posted on there. Yeah. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I appreciate everyone still tuning into the streams, even on L's. I know that a lot of people are just like, man, that was a tough loss. Like, you know, don't really want to talk about stuff, but like, we still gotta talk, right? Even on tough L's, it's like, we gotta talk, bro. So I sincerely do appreciate everyone tuning into the streams, even when we do lose. But hopefully we'll be starting to win next time. But Bulls have a tough task, and I think that I don't know. I don't have faith that we're gonna be winning against the Pistons, but hey, we've done it. We've done it before, so we could definitely do this on Wednesday, and you know, hopefully win again against the Pistons, who I know people still are, you know, reliving their memories from the 90s against them. So we got to be on our A game for this. But I will be seeing you guys on Wednesday for post-game stream after the Bulls take on the Pistons. All right. Thank you guys so much. Be safe. Have a good night. Peace.